Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Little panel right now. I think it's going to grow here over shortly, but appreciate you all being here. We're going to have some fun tonight. There's lots of awesome stuff to get into, lots of conversations to be had. Thank you all for also watching PM and the PM last night. We had a blast on that show. We went 4 hours. I don't think
big turnout last night too.
Yeah, I don't think we're going 4 hours tonight, but
No?
You never know what's going to happen here. I don't know. I do actually have topics like written down.
That never works out when you do that.
That's true.
And you didn't send them to us, so it's just...
didn't. No, this is for my
Bam's world
only.
Yep.
Yeah, but let's get into the panel and say hello. What's up, Pong Soul? How you doing, bro?
Doing good, brother. It's Friday. I'm here. Just walked in the door just a tiny bit ago. So it's been a long ass day, but I get to sit down with this gigantic panel of beautiful people right here. Well, just Mav and Jasper for right now, but I'm sure much of the family will be jumping in. But yeah, no, I mean, we had a great show last night. Again, we didn't think we were going to talk that long on the Game Awards and everything surrounding it, but we did. And it was a blast because I hadn't talked about it yet. I can't wait to hear some of Jasper's thoughts, although you guys talked about it on FSP. So, but yeah, we've got more news. Again, hey, we're not going to talk about it here, but PlayStation's roadmap's coming together, everybody. So,
yeah.
They're all set to go. They got the crew on it and looks good. So, but otherwise, enjoyed a little bit of Persona Tactica last night after we got off the show last night before bed. If you like Atlas, you like Persona, and you like turn-based tactics games, download it in Game Pass. No risk. Go get it. It's worth it. So if you're an Atlas fan, you're going to like it. Lots of talking still. But I like the mechanics in the battle so far. Again, really early on, don't have the whole crew together for reasons that I won't spoil, but really good story so far. Already been smiling at it. So go download it. And Mav and I mentioned it last night, but this is a PSA for everybody. If you have not purchased Midnight Suns yet, we talked about this last night. It's been on sale a lot. It is now in the Xbox Black Friday sale. You can get the Legendary Edition with all the DLC, and the DLC is worth it, folks. The characters are worth it. $30 for the big boy package, the Legendary Edition. Go get it, even if you don't have time right now. If you've thought about it, pick it up now, throw it in the library, throw it in the backlog, and keep it there. It's well worth it. $30 right now. So, yeah, can't wait to dive into some of these topics, man. Let's go.
Yeah, great. Good call out for Midnight Suns. It's an awesome game. And Jasper actually in our chat last night had mentioned that actually probably should have been nominated for Sim Strategy category, especially comparatively to the other games that were in there. And we were like, yeah, but that didn't come out last year, right? Well, it did, but it was in December. So it was, with the way they do things, it should have been thought of this
And
year.
I think that goes to show that they don't look at, they say there's a cutoff date, but they don't go back after. If
just
it's
like
not,
us, they're probably just like, didn't even have it in their mind as like a this year thing. You know what I mean?
But Mav, they're getting paid. If we got paid,
right,
and I needed to do this as part of my profession, I would certainly
you would look
looking
at that previous month.
Yeah, for sure. You would look at everything. You know, how are you doing, Jasper? What's up, man?
Doing pretty good. We were talking about it a little bit beforehand. I've been playing Remnant today a little bit. Kind of playing the DLC that just came out, I think Wednesday or whatever. So just kind of working my way through that. It's been a struggle because I'm not in the flow of things right now, so I've been dying quite more than usual. And they got these little new green bastards that shoot poison balls at you. They're pissing me off, but that's kind of been what I'm up to. Halo 3 playlist and Halo Infinite. Been playing that. So
yeah. Do you like the Halo 3 maps?
They ruined Lockout. They added an additional part to that, and Lockout is now ruined. Yeah,
that's weird. I haven't tried that one yet. I played a few matches and I got I'm horrible with the names of the maps, but you know, the one with the bridge and you have the cannons that shoot you all the way over to the other side. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that one, and then also the one with like the wall that you can open and shut the gate, and there's like usually a one flag capture the flag map. The most popular Halo 3 map there is, I think. I can't even think of the damn name. But yeah, I was playing on some of those, and man, it's so fun though, dude. It really was. So yeah, thanks for being here as always. And we got Fuzzy here. Fuzzy Belvedere, what's up, bro?
Not too much. Glad to be here with you guys. Been just watching Twitter where it's just random meltdowns and bad takes and arguments over stuff and semantics, whatever. But yeah, we'll definitely get into some stuff. But I'm kind of glad there's a little bit of a roadmap for next year for a particular platform, but yeah, it is what it is. But man, so much stuff to talk about. So many people arguing over the word tax as opposed to bias and not believing that it exists. But I got my own, easy to listen to parallel. But we'll definitely talk about it at some point.
Yeah, right on, man. Thanks for being here as always, Fuzz. Yeah, and Psycho's on his way too. He booted up his PC like 20 minutes ago, but that's how old his PC is.
He posted 2 seconds ago on Twitter, on X. Yeah. So where are you, Psycho?
He probably posted that from his phone.
Call in, Psycho.
Every PC giveaway I see on Twitter, I'm like at Psycho because I just trying to get his ass a new PC somehow. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Thank you guys for being here. Chat, you guys rock. We also have a couple things. God Emperor Sofa King has become a speculator again. Appreciate you, God Emperor Sofa King. You are absolutely awesome.
Shout out to you, brother.
And then Bionic Wolf, member for 7 months, says, good evening, panel and chat. Let's go. Yes, let's go indeed. I want to start off with what the thumbnail is. Killer Instinct. We're actually have a date for the... there's the 10th anniversary, and they're having information that they told us. They're going to be giving us updates on the road ahead for Killer Instinct. So that's coming up, and it's supposed to hit this year. And I'm betting they're probably just going to go ahead and launch it at that time, probably, but we'll see. But yeah, Xbox isn't done in 2023. We're still getting updates and games upgraded for free, and more content coming down the line with Killer Instinct, and I'm pretty personally excited about that. So I know that maybe not everybody is, but I think it could be a resurgence for Killer Instinct, and see if it kind of kickstarts it into later with maybe a Killer Instinct 2 and stuff like that down the road. But how you doing, Psycho? What's up, man?
Hey! What's up, everybody?
Yeah, we got your PC booted up.
Yeah.
Right on, man. We're just talking about Killer Instinct, dude. Are you looking forward to the 22nd when they're going to give us this update? Do you think they're going to actually drop the content then, or do you think they're just going to announce what it's going to be?
Ooh, depends on how long they've been working on this. If it's been a little bit of time that they've been working on the content, then yes, they will drop it. Possibly announce maybe title in works for a second one, possibly.
Hold on. Yeah, so this is what their tweet said. It said, on Wednesday, November 22nd at 1 p.m., we'll be walking everyone through our balance updates as promised during our announcement at EVO. So the balance updates, don't miss out as our friends at Iron Galaxy go over bug fixes, changes, buffs, nerfs, and births. What is a birth? Is it a buff nerf?
I don't know. It's a good question.
He says, but they say buffs, nerfs, and births.
Maybe it's a joke.
Maybe. I don't know. So do y'all think it's just gonna be like balancing updates? Because that's kind of what the tweet makes it seem like. But like, I'm expecting them to kind of unload a roadmap here.
I think, as Psycho said, if they've been working on it, yes. I still think we get a tease for a new game, no matter what. I think they do tease the new game, full-fledged roadmap, potentially, if they've had enough time to sit down, and if they're actually planning on, having regular updates now at this point, now that they're back on it again. I can certainly see that. Obviously, that would be huge news for the community, especially the Killer Instinct community that's been waiting forever for this to kind of get moving again. So if they've got it ready, yes, absolutely. This is the perfect time to do it. I think that's probably why they put out the announcement so far ahead of time, as well as to make sure that people remembered and got it marked down and had time to watch it. I like I said, I would bet money that they're going to tease the next game. Whatever that tease is, if it's just a splash screen, if it's just, whatever, however they want to do it, I think they will tease that. And that will be gigantic news in and of itself. So
I looked up BERF. It's a basic, universal, reliable feedback.
Well, this is with an E.
Oh,
yeah. With an E. It's like a nerf. It's like,
It's a mix between a buff and a nerf.
Yeah. That's why I almost thought it was just a joke.
Yeah. So I don't know what a BERF is.
Yeah.
I know what a buff and a nerf is. What do you think, Jasper? Is it's just like,
what was the original announcement from a couple months ago? What do you remember what that was?
At Evo, they just said that they're going to be supporting Killer Instinct with updates, pretty much. I mean, that's what I remember from it. But they, and so they said that later this year we'll have more information. And then they've been tweeting since the other day. The other day they said, join us for Dev Stream with Iron Galaxy on Wednesday, November 22nd at 1 p.m. Pacific. Killer Instinct's 10th anniversary, where we'll be sharing the latest news on the upcoming changes to Killer Instinct. And they linked on Twitch's Iron Galaxy's channel. And then,
I mean, to me, that just sounds like a bunch of, they were saying bouncing and stuff, but nothing major.
Right. Well, so I'm wondering if that's what, if that's all it's going to be, or if there's going to be some hints of some future stuff, because to have that announcement at Evo on the 10th anniversary, if you just, because they talked about series enhancements too,
I mean, it could be something because Microsoft with MCC, they let that shit stay dead for 5 years and they kind of came back to it. So maybe this is something similar where it's we have this game, we're just not supporting it, so let's kind of jump back on it and kind of give it its second life. Maybe they're kind of doing that with Killer Instinct now.
Who originally did Evo post that initial quote, whatever you read first off?
I'm trying to find the original. Okay, so this was back on August 5th. I found a VGC article. Okay, so the 10th anniversary update will release this year with improvements to balance, matchmaking, and more. Okay, so this is from VGC. Iron Galaxy is returning to create a 10th anniversary update for Xbox's Killer Instinct reboot later this year. The update, which was announced on stage at this weekend's Evo event in Las Vegas, will include balance tweaks, improved matchmaking, and 4K support for Series X and S.
So right there, just right there, the balancing and tweaking for Evo itself. If you are ramping up a IP that you haven't worked on for such a long time, there's something else behind that they are getting people ready for the next game, I'm believing. So if they have a next one coming out, what better way to show it at Evo? Because that's where, whatever tournament, is it a tournament that they're having when they show this something?
I mean, no, they're just doing a stream at the 10th anniversary.
Honestly, I think the biggest surprise that you get out of this is probably a 10th anniversary skin pack or something like that. Maybe an additional character. If they're redoing all the balancing, they may add a new character just to balance that out. Put Marcus Phoenix or some random other fucking Xbox character in there. I don't know if they already have him, but
yeah.
Well, they have Ram from Gears, so.
Yeah, they have Arbiter as well as,
or fucking add a Sea of Thieves pirate. I don't fucking know.
They have Battletoads.
Some random fucking dude.
Now you have, you have Doom Guy. Now you have all the ABK, and so you have Lilith. You have the angel dude in there, Anarius.
Yeah,
right. I think it's too early for them to add. I think Activision Blizzard people
could be. Or maybe not.
Yeah. I think maybe they could just announce plans to keep supporting the game, right?
Yeah, do a card. Here's a title card of the new characters that are coming out in the near future. And they show, 3 or 4 new ones, or whatever. It's just interesting that they're announcing this just out of the blue. So
yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
We can say Fuzz.
I was going to say I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe they announce that they're part of the family now.
Ooh.
They've been acquired.
Fuzzy with that insider trading.
That would be nuts. I mean, if you did want to lock down the developer for the future of the franchise, that's what one thing you need to do. Because Iron Galaxy's done a lot of different things since then. Yeah,
a lot of their support stuff is for games that they now own the studios for. So why not?
Yeah,
makes sense.
So I've been trying to do some digging here. This is from James Goddard, head of Killer Instinct. He had showed up at Evo, and then said that Iron Galaxy's Adam Hart, the lead combat designer of Killer Instinct, said this is amazing and unprecedented to be able to revisit a game that kind of had the dust settle for this long. Also, I was trying to find all these little tidbits here. Okay, so this is what they had said at actual Evo when they came on stage. This was James Goddard said, we're doing a balance update and a major upgrade to all PlayFab services. Matchmaking's a lot smoother, tournaments are easier, and more Killer Instinct for the next 10 years. Is that just saying that doing the balancing and tweaking and matchmaking updates are going to help restore the game for the next 10 years? Or for me, that's a hint that they plan on supporting it and going forward.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I wouldn't say like make it, if they do announce a new game, like, it's not going to be for a couple years away. So maybe they tease it here and be like, stay tuned to the Game Awards and show you the trailer at the Game Awards for it. Even still, that's going to be a couple years out. So maybe you continue to support this until then, but like the fighting game genre is so hard to like move on to like just a Series X thing. With now they have Xbox One and Series X and PC all in one game, and if you make a new game, you're going to leave some of that behind. And I don't know, it's kind of weird. Because Killer Instinct's not like a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. It's not as big as that, so you don't want to leave those people behind.
Right. So there's also stuff on Iron Galaxy's website. Okay, so it says Evo was great this year. Lots of tense matches and exciting announcements came out of Vegas this weekend. We might be biased, but the highlight for us was the reveal that Killer Instinct is getting an update for its 10th birthday. It was amazing to see the player reactions when our friends at Xbox announced that they've teamed up with Iron Galaxy to evolve Killer Instinct again. Our dev team is back in action at this very moment. We're hard at work on a balance update and some improvements to the overall experience. Adam Keats Hart, our lead combat designer, is excited to hop back in. It is seriously unprecedented to have an opportunity to revisit a game 5 years after its last update. The massive community of active players have continued to push Killer Instinct to its limits, so we'll be consulting some of the top KI minds to make the right changes. As a total nerd for game balance, getting a chance to do another tuning pass feels like a fever dream. And then it says, we'd like to thank the KI community for their constant support. We'll be like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then there's an actual official Xbox announcement. It is amazing to be back at Evo again. We cannot thank the Evo team enough for running a special Killer Instinct 10th Anniversary Showcase Tournament. Big shout out to the competitors and truly 4 of the best KI players in the world. Blah, blah, blah. By now, you've probably seen the news. We're partnering once again with Iron Galaxy to bring you Killer Instinct's 10th Anniversary update later this year. That's right. The band's back together to bring you one more evolution to the game you know and love. So one more seems like, that sounds like final, right? To me. Interesting, like, for the next 10 years, and then also one more. I don't know how to look at it. We've actually been working with Iron Galaxy behind the scenes for some time now, including our May quality of life update that kicked off our efforts to move KI away from outdated legacy services and onto PlayFab. The 10th anniversary update will go even further with a few more changes. improve matchmaking. We want to make it easier for folks to find matches quickly, regardless of which platform they're playing on. Optimization for Series X and S consoles, and then balance updates. That's right, new meta for Killer Instinct more than 5 years after the last adjustments. So that seems like right now that's all that's planned, right? The optimization for Series X and S is
that's just smart delivery and like quick resume and all that bullshit.
But also they mentioned a 4K update or before as well, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think it was already 4K though on the One X.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Chat, let me know is because they mentioned 4K. Like, why would they mention it if it's already on Series X and S consoles? It's already 4K.
I think it was dynamic 4K on One X. It was enhanced.
So like maybe like native.
Now it's probably native.
Okay, so maybe just going with a better version of that or whatever. Alvin hit us with a $10 super chat. Says, in case folks are wondering why they took so long for a Killer Instinct announcement, the 22nd is the actual 10th anniversary. A burf is a change that is both a nerf and a buff in different ways.
Yeah, if you go to the Killer Instinct thing on the store, it says 4K Ultra HD.
Okay. That was weird that they said 4K then, right?
It's because it's that stupid, put it on a box and people buy it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know. What I hope for is there's another announcement here, right? And, you know, Fuzzy said, like, hey, Iron Galaxy's coming in. We're gonna continue support on this and say we're not done yet, right? But maybe they wanted to keep the expectations because this they just got the ball rolling with this thing. But then there was the one more comment. So maybe that would mean that they are just going to do this last update to kind of reignite the community and then start on Killer Instinct 2.
I could definitely see that happening. I mean, what better way to lead into Killer Instinct 2, build up the hype for it, than to go ahead and bring everything up to date on the current Killer Instinct, do some fixes here and there, and then, you know, hopefully in like 3 to 4 years we'd have that Killer Instinct 2 with a whole slew of Xbox new IP and characters from Activision and Bethesda and all of that mixed in there. Yeah, I could see that being the way moving forward, kind of thing.
Can I make one recommendation to Iron Galaxy or the team that's working on it? Okay. One thing I would like to see: get rid of that god awful UI. They've already changed it a couple times, I feel like, but like that was probably one of the worst UIs ever. I feel like the game's great, but the UI is just, for the menus and all that shit, is just absolutely fucking garbage. They tried to figure out how to do that like seasonal type content thing with that game. It was like free to play and then release characters later, you know, and stuff. And it was just really weird and didn't work, right? So that would be a big change. If they just changed that, it would make the game way more appealing. And the menus and all that stuff still look like, even though they're like maybe 4K enhanced or whatever, they still, some of those things look a little blurry, like at times, you know, I think in the menus, because maybe the native resolution on the graphics they were using and stuff wasn't like high enough. You know what I mean? So maybe hopefully they'll update some of that shit. But yeah, the UI, please change it. And then maybe Killer Instinct 2. Let's get an announcement for that, and we can all be hyped and get Killer Instinct back, man. That's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, Xbox is doing free updates still.
They're not charging $10?
No, they're not charging.
Okay.
Where's our Fallout 4 update?
I want that.
Bethesda.
Next.
We promised.
When is that coming, Pong?
It was supposed to be this year, and they originally had said summer.
You still got a month.
When is there?
When's the show coming? Next year?
What show?
The Fallout show.
I don't know.
I think that's next year.
This year?
Yeah, it's next year, I think, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's set for April next year or something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think it's
earlier, February, April, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Do you think they pulled people off of it or something, Pong, to do some other stuff?
To finish Starfield? I mean, that's the way Pete made it sound when he got crabby with people online for asking them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it kind of sounded like that was the focus, was getting Starfield out the door. So maybe they did, but they announced it so early. It sounded like it was like almost done. Like they kind of knew. I mean, things change, and maybe they thought they didn't want to release it, you know, around the same time as Starfield, and maybe give it some more breathing room. I don't know what the drill is. Yeah. I hope for a surprise announcement here during this whole Fallout celebration, right? Because they've been celebrating the Fallout anniversary and all that kind of stuff. I was hoping to see something sooner. Maybe we get a surprise announcement at the Game Awards. Maybe they save it for that. I mean, it's kind of a big deal to be able to go back and play Fallout in a much better light. I mean, it's going to be great. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. I don't know. Fingers crossed. Maybe they're holding until next year. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like it though. I don't like it. I don't like the silence. Just come on and tell us.
Yeah, you just want transparency. You don't necessarily care when it drops. You just want to
just come on and tell me. Just come on and tell me that you guys pushed it till next year. That's fine. I mean, we got plenty to play. It's not like I'm dying over here and I need to play Fallout 4, but I did pick up the entire the complete edition when it was on sale this last time for $10, $9, whatever the hell it was, in preparation for it. So I would kind of like to know. I mean,
have you played it on PC yet?
No, I have not tried it on PC yet,
dude. It's like I put some mods on it and and then I went and changed the script or whatever to put it on the ultra wide and stuff. And it's amazing, dude. It's like, it's so cool. But like, honestly, I think the experience we'll get on Series X when the update comes out will probably be pretty close to that. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, and you know me, I'm still playing on console a lot. Again, even though I got my PC now, I told you guys, it was never going to happen where I was going to fully switch over to PC, because I just enjoy my big screen too much. When I get home from work, I've been sitting at work. Today was 12 hours at work in front of a PC. Like, I know it's different, but it's not. Like when you sit at a desk all day, like I just want to sit on my couch in front of the big screen. It's just one of those things. Just me.
I mean, speaking of 2024 though, like if they drop that update 2024, they already have a great lineup. We're joking about PlayStation's Last of Us Part 2 thing that got leaked, and you know, I will say to that game, I'm glad there's an upgrade path for $10 because the extra content they have coming out for it with a new mode, that seems like it would be worth the extra $10, right? But I will like to say that maybe they could have offered the upgrades, the updates for free, and then had the content separate, right?
They don't have the bank account to do it, man.
Yeah, that would have been the right thing to do. I don't know.
At least they have the upgrade. I gave them props for the upgrade. I reposted on Twitter again because I posted something kind of snarky before. It was more at the TGAs, but anyways, I did give them credit because, you know, again, we'd seen everybody believed this was going to be a full price situation. So the fact that they do have an upgrade path is good, but I got to ask, and I asked Steele in the DMs too. Great that you have a new mode, and you know, it looks kind of cool. I kind of watched the videos on it, whatever else. And shout out to Okami Games who kind of broke down, you know, what it's about. But why no co-op? You guys say you need multiplayer. You guys say you need more engagement from
They don't know how to do it, Pong.
I understand that, but this is one of those small moments, man, that's perfect for introducing something like. You've already denied
one of those modes in co-op. People would have been shitting themselves. Over that.
Yes. You've denied your fans factions too now. So why didn't you go the extra step and create co-op mode for this new roguelite, which sounds cool? Yeah. Why not create a co-op mode for it? My God. Again, just one of those small modes. Again, we're not going to get a place.
Trying to think who's going to have the best, you know, pipeline for 2024. Right now, it looks like Xbox, right? Like. At least we know what there's gonna be, you know, or at least some of them, right? The Fallout 4 thing.
Ray, you're probably right. Ray, shout out to Ray, and he says Bungie said no. You're probably right, Ray. You're probably right. They probably had plans, and Bungie looked at that too and said, "Yeah, no, that's not good enough either."
So I did some digging on that Fallout 4 thing. I don't know if y'all have seen this, but Pete Hines was asked on the 15th of November, like, did he have any update? And Pete Hines said, I did try getting an update before I left, but there's nothing concrete enough that I could share. So,
okay.
That was a few days ago.
I hadn't seen that. That's interesting that he actually answered that question. Okay.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm leaving. But before I leave, I'd like an update on Fallout 4
Well, so many people were
Remastered.
pestering him. Like so many people were up in his fucking posts. It was pretty damn funny. So yeah, okay. All right. Well, thanks, Jasper. I didn't see that.
Pete, are you gonna be here tomorrow? And, I'm about to have an update for you tomorrow. No, I'm leaving. All right, bye, Pete. Later, bro. I'm like, we'll update the community when we're ready. You have no say anymore.
Pete's got his box on his way out, and he stops over at Todd's desk, and he's like, "Hey, Todd, just a quick question. It's been great working with you, but you got that Fallout 4 patch ready?"
Well, I mean, did he just want to play it? It's like that's why
maybe.
he's asking. It's funny, man.
Yeah.
This is a weird last request to ask about before you head out. I'm retiring, but hey, guys, where we are on that update? Just gotta.
It's funny. It's funny. It's good shit.
Yeah,
it's a better response than he had previously.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, the pipeline for 2024. I mean, you got the. Do we consider that a release for PlayStation?
What?
The Last of Us Definitive Edition for part.
Well,
part 2.
It can be nominated for the awards. So yeah. Now it's an ongoing game now, Mav. It's an ongoing game now.
Oh, you're right. You opened up that can of worms because of Phantom Liberty, right?
Yes, Cyberpunk. Yeah, why not?
Does that count as a DLC or expansion? Or
doesn't matter. Both
it
of
doesn't
them
matter.
Can be for Game of the Year and for ongoing game. So yeah,
it's all good now, man. It's up for awards. Let's go. It was already the most awarded game of all time. We got to continue that streak. Let's go. Let's put it in every category next year.
What are the
best
odds?
RPG? Last of Us 2 remastered.
Best kid game.
Best family game.
Over under that Neil.
That's golf game.
Over under that Neil Druckmann's on stage with Keeley talking about this.
Oh, this was definitely a Game Awards announcement that got leaked. Like this was probably one of PlayStation's big announcements at the Game Awards because they had that trailer ready to rock and roll. So this was definitely something they had set up and ready. And I think this was a Game Awards moment that got taken away today for sure.
Right.
So
I don't know if Druckmann will be there,
but it makes more and more sense now.
Yeah.
No, it'd just be Troy Baker on the stage doing a 10-minute podcast.
If they have that again. Oh my God. If they do that every fucking year, it seems like now. Like, we're so excited to have the amazing Troy Baker, and then he's like, hey, what's it like to be able to talk about stuff now that the strike's over?
Bass Digi, it is a roguelike mode that they're adding to The Last of Us 2. It's a single player roguelike mode, kind of where you go, beat wave after wave, and you kind of if you die, you start over again, but you get to keep some of your stuff, and you eventually get to a boss battle. You can go look. Some people have broken it down. Okami Games on X. If you follow him, he's got a breakdown of it.
There's some mini games too. Like you're gonna be able to play instruments and stuff, like mini games. And there's like some kind of competition.
Yeah, there's a guitar game in there.
There's a weightlifting mini game with Abby now too.
Yep. No, there's not.
No,
there's a pegging simulator.
Oh God!
Oh, freaking hell! I wasn't going there, man. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So we'll see how that does, but I don't really consider that a release, but I guess it is potentially.
I'm half joking now that they've got the $10 upgrade path. I don't know if it will actually be in there, but I'm sure if enough media get together and say, let's vote for it because it's so freaking fantastic. We want to see it win again, which this media would do. Yep. Maybe it'll show up.
It depends on when it comes out. If it comes out in December, they won't care.
No, it's January 19th.
No.
Oh, okay.
This is a PlayStation exclusive. They don't care.
I'm just glad that they're not calling it a remake.
Wait, what?
Correct. It's a remaster.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. They correctly labeled it this time.
Yeah.
Because those screenshots.
Should it just be a re-release?
The remake,
yeah, look at those screenshots. It look at the difference.
The remake
should be an expansion pack
in 4 years.
Yeah. It will have the DualSense features for anybody that's interested as well. So
didn't they have the DualSense features with
supposedly not, because they included it in all this, that it was going to have the DualSense specific for this one. I don't know if the DualSense still obviously worked. Obviously it did, and it still had some functionality, but they listed it as one of the improvements in this version. So
$10.
Maybe they're honing it in more.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at Sony about the $10 upgrade. But then again, maybe Maybe Jim Ryan was the greedy guy, and they got him out the door.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe Jim Ryan walked on his way out and said, "Hey guys, where are we on that Last of Us Part 2 update?"
The remaster, guys. His last memo was $10 upgrade.
I tried
that
to
was
get
his last memo.
I tried to find out on my way out, but I didn't get an answer. So as far as the Xbox goes, though, 2024 is looking bright right now with their pipeline. I'm thinking they're looking really good. We know Ara is supposed to hit for PC next year.
Mm-hmm.
You have Towerborn supposed to be earlier next year. Flight Sim 2024 is a thing as well. Correct. You have Hellblade 2, and which they said later, right? Is that what he said?
The way he said it was, well, you've seen, our games Towerborn. I'm paraphrasing here, but he said this is pretty much how he said it. Like he said, so you've seen, our games Towerborn, and you've seen Ara, and he goes and Hellblade 2 later, will be later. So it sounds like, because of how the question was phrased, because it was about like their directs and their announcements, Hellblade 2 is probably going to have its own direct, which I've always thought it might. So maybe he just meant that, Towerborn and Ara are going to be the first out the gate early on, but then we'll get a Hellblade 2, direct and then release, right? That's the way I kind of heard him, because I can't believe that, because that question was wrapped up in also the quarterly release schedule, right? For big games. That was also wrapped up in there. And there's no way that Booty is considering Towerborn or Ara a big release, right? One per quarter. I can't see that. So I still think Hellblade 2 is early next year. I still think it is. I still think it's by April. Maybe I'm wrong, but I still think it's got to be by April. And Avowed is going to be the holiday season one, or maybe not. Maybe Clockwork Revolution will be the holiday one.
That would be a nice surprise.
It would be a nice surprise, but In Exile's been way too active, man. They got to be close. They got to be close.
Yeah, for sure. Something that somebody asked last night, Pong, and we were going to get back to it, was about the release dates for Hellblade 2 and Avowed.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that question too when we were going through the chat.
So I had put it on our list today, to talk about. And getting into that, I kind of agree, because the games that he mentioned, the other two, we've already known that those are probably earlier this year, right? Because they've kind of mentioned that Towerborn was earlier already, and then we also know that Ara was kind of supposed to already been out, right? So,
and that's not console.
That's PC. So as far as that goes, I kind of tend to agree with you. He may have been referencing different release timings there, and it could still be within the first half of the year alone with what he mentioned there, right?
Correct.
So if that's the case, then we still don't know about Avowed's release date, and then also because he didn't mention Flight Sim either, right?
No, he didn't. No.
And that's supposed to be next year as well. So that would, if I was to put it in what I'm thinking, and I want to know if you guys agree, I would say that Ara is probably first, then Towerborn, or those two could flip. I don't know. That's tricky on those.
Or they could come out close to each other too, since Ara's PC only. They technically could.
Yeah, I think you could put Ara and another game in the same month.
Yeah. And then you have Hellblade 2. And I think along there somewhere where you also released that Fallout 4 remaster, probably, but we'll see.
It probably comes out with the TV show.
Yeah.
When do we know
maybe
what
they're
the date
holding
is for that?
I'll see if I can find it.
I'm sure you can.
It's like March or April, I think.
And then what I'm thinking is for the second half, probably going to be some kind of surprise game.
April 12th for Fallout.
April 12th? Okay. Yeah. Well, that kind of lines up what we're saying.
I would say Flight Sim is going to be like one of those games where you just get a random month and it drops in between two big, kind of like Minecraft Legends we had this year. Like they just got to throw it out there.
Yeah, I'm thinking
May or June.
Yes, it's around summertime, right? And then maybe Avowed for the holiday game. But I don't know. Is that going to be the big holiday game?
But that's what I'm saying. One per quarter, though.
Right. I mean, they said bigger games for one per quarter.
Right.
Like ones they're
Right.
excited about. So like,
correct,
you know,
big ones, yeah.
like they're kind of filling in the other kinds of games in between, he said. So like,
yeah,
you know, this year we
There's
had like
some of the publishing ones in there. Like, wouldn't Contraband fall into that?
Contraband could fall into that category, yes.
Are they counting Stalker in there?
Stalker 2.
That's not published by them, so they won't include it with their pipeline.
That's true, and it's only a timed release. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it might wind up being a longer time release, just or timed exclusive, just because of the position that studio's in. But yeah, no, you're right. They probably wouldn't count that one. I don't think they could count that one. So yeah, there's got to be something that we don't know about next year, and that's why I proposed Clockwork Revolution, maybe the Marcus Phoenix collection, if that's been a real thing. You know, there's got to be something else in there too.
They could come out of left field with something, man. Like
yes,
they've held shit in their pocket. Another possibility for next year, people don't think I'm crazy, is Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get I think a Disney TV show, Indiana Jones 2, and I don't know if that's next year or not because of delays from writer strike. But
Indiana Jones definitely could be.
I think Indiana Jones could be next year's big holiday game.
Yep.
Yeah.
The reason why is because the leaks that came out from those original leaks, from the documents in the court, right?
Mm-hmm.
Case showed their original plans for release scheduling on that, and it was a year after Starfield released. Right.
Correct.
And Starfield was supposed to come out last year or whatever. So
correct.
Indiana Jones would have came out with the movie.
Exactly.
Right.
So if everything got pushed back in sequence, like equally, right, because of COVID and delays and all that, you know, acquisition things, whatever the reasons, if everything had the same time setback, then you just move back the whole schedule, right? And then that would coincide with that leak to where Indiana Jones would be next year.
There could be lots of stuff, again, because the leaks with Bethesda, you know, we saw a lot in there that we didn't know about, but ZeniMax Online has to be getting ready to show their game too.
That's the other one, man.
That's long overdue. So yeah, I mean, next year could be one of those years where they're playing it off as, we got one per quarter, you know, for sure, but they wind up having, again, more than one per quarter, which we've talked about.
I mean, we know they're going to.
And now, it again, rightfully so too. You got Activision Blizzard now. I mean, are we just talking exclusives, or are we talking overall first party? Because, you know, we are going to get another Call of Duty next year. That's another big first party title coming out next year.
That's going to be your last quarter. So
right, that's going to be your last quarter. So I mean, next year we could see more, technically speaking, than the one per quarter when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Plus DLC and stuff, because Starfield's was that Fractured Spaces or something.
Yep. That'll be next year. We got Diablo's expansion next year. So
Starfield can be game of the year next year then.
Yeah, you have a new Black Ops next year. That's gonna be first party. That's an automatic big holiday game every fucking year now, man.
Right. Well, if they keep it going,
well, at least for next year, for sure.
For next year, for sure. Yeah.
Which is insane to think about.
Right.
Like that, by that time, that game will probably be releasing in Game Pass. Like, as long as everything that we
there's no weird contracts or
as long
some
as
shit
there's
that we
not
don't know
some
of.
weird bullshit thing, right?
Yep.
The Diablo IV expansion, do you think something like that hits Game Pass or no?
No.
Expansions usually don't.
I know they usually don't, but we didn't get the opportunity to buy that extra $45 version or whatever. You know what I mean? Like the
I don't think they will.
$40. So just throwing it out there.
Diablo's one of the I just think Diablo's one of the outliers for the time being. I think eventually the base game, I could see the base game showing up in Game Pass next year after the expansion's been out and they've gotten as much out of it as they possibly can. Throwing that in there for like the holiday season, like for Game Pass to announce. And if you haven't played Diablo 4 yet, come into Game Pass, you know, November or whatever the heck. It'll give you a huge announcement too, especially if the expansion's hitting and they continue on the trend that they've got going right now with season 2. Diablo 4 could be back in full swing. Plus, you got to remember that Path of Exile 2 is supposed to launch next year, or at least go into beta next year.
Yeah.
We probably won't see the full launch. So they're going to have some major competition. So they're going to be pushing Diablo as much as possible as well.
Well, I would assume the expansion would be out along June when it's for its 1 year anniversary, right? So
yes, I do believe so. And then, like I said, once you get the expansion out, you sell the complete package together for some months, Jasper, and then announce that you're going to drop, the base game into Game Pass for the holidays. Huge deal. I mean, that would be massive. Be pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Man, I think next year could be just as good, if not better, than this year for Xbox, right?
Yep.
They, despite them getting snubbed on some of the bigger games, they are nominated quite a bit at the Game Awards still overall.
Yeah, they got I think 10 nominations total, and then PlayStation got 13, I think, or 15, and Nintendo got like fucking 20.
Yeah. So they will have more of a presence than last year at the Game Awards. Thank God, regardless, right? So to see like some of these games get recognized, they got obviously snubbed in some areas for sure, right?
Yeah.
But overall, I think that it's going to feel more like last year's show just was like horrible for Xbox. Period.
And they also didn't show any fucking trailers.
You had the ABK news came down that with the FTC thing or whatever that just happened. You had Phil looking pissed off, in the stands. You had no games shown from Xbox at the Game Awards. You just had a couple Game Pass trailers mixed in, and then you had what was it? As Dusk Falls get an award, and I think that was pretty much it, right? And
you had the Bill Clinton kid at the end.
Yeah, and all that stuff. So last year's Game Awards was like a weird one for Xbox, whereas the previous 2 years, they had huge reveals there, right?
Yeah.
They had Hellblade 2 shown.
They showed off their fucking console a couple years before
X
that.
Was announced. So my question is, despite, obviously outcry from a lot of Xbox fans saying, just Xbox boycott the Game Awards, all that stuff, do we see them back at the Game Awards this year with some reveals?
I think they are. Didn't they already come out and say that was a mistake or whatever? Like that. Like shortly after that, they come out and was like, yeah, we probably should have shown something.
I don't know. I don't remember what they had said. I know that
they made some weird like kind of statement towards that. I remember that.
Right.
But I don't remember what they said.
What was it at this Xbox showcase this year afterwards when Matt Booty and Phil Spencer sat on the couch and talked to Grubb and they were being interviewed? They had said that we still have opportunities to show stuff, and they had mentioned Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, and the Game Awards for exciting updates for the community and stuff like that. So they had mentioned that specifically at that time. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean they knew 100% they were going to have something there, right? They're just talking about opportunity. But I have to feel like that would have been a regular plan for them. But last year, maybe because of everything going on with the ABK thing and stuff is why they held back. Plus, they had already planned on having Dev Direct in January, which maybe they're doing another one in January, and maybe that's the norm now, and we should just expect that. I'm not sure, right? But I do have a feeling they'll be back there this year with something. So that way there's not a repeat of the way the show came across last year, regardless of, like if we think they should be there or not or whatever. I'm kind of like past that now. I do think it's a good opportunity for them. But knowing that they did the Dev Direct, that paid off really well, right? So either way, I'm cool with it. But they got so much shit now, man. It's like with ABK and all of these other things they got going on. One of the things we had talked about at BlizzCon, did they possibly hold off on showing that new survival game for another show down the line to be able to kind of reap the benefits of like putting that Xbox stamp on it to one of the bigger audiences, right? So there could be some interesting stuff at the Game Awards. And
even if they do show something here, they could announce the January Direct here. Be like, they could show like a 30-second Hellblade trailer and be like, see more at Game Direct in January or whatever. So
yeah, I think they definitely go that route. Like there's like 4 or 5 things that I think they could definitely focus on. Hellblade 2 being one of them, and like you said, the whole Dev Direct for January. I also think they could show Perfect Dark. Like it's been silent for a while, and I would have to believe they're probably closer rather than further away compared to last year. And with the whole thing with the worry going on for Embracer, why not show Perfect Dark at this point? I think they would probably have something worked up for it.
That is the first place they showed Perfect Dark, was at the Game Awards as well. Right?
Or do they treat the Game Awards as kind of their longer term vision games, like stuff that's going to come out in the next 4 or 5 years? Is that where you show like the farther stuff, and then like your E3s you do like 2 or 3 years out, not complete full 5 years?
The Game Awards has worked really well for that in the past, Jasper. Elden Ring's done it. You know, you had
like, this is your hopium, yeah,
right.
Your place you try to sell to everybody.
So what would that be then? You know,
Elder Scrolls 6 additional trailer.
Dude, if they showed up, if they like, you're going into different territory now, man. If they showed like Elder Scrolls 6 at the Game Awards, I would literally shit myself on the fucking co-stream. I probably would. Alvin says a good one. Gears 6 teaser.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That would be huge because we've had that distance of time now between Gears 5 and 6. Mm-hmm. The community is fucking ready, man. You know, there was a lot of talk after Gears 5 was announced. It's like, hey, they need to maybe take a little break, you know, and like, you know, get the people really desiring that next Gears again, you know, and all that stuff.
And it doesn't even have to be like a long thing. It could just be like a chainsaw cutting through a black screen and you see Gear 6 or something. Like,
that's all you got to do. Yeah. You don't have to have anything other than the title, just to splash a 6 right in the Gears blood. It would be great.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
What if they surprise Keighley again and they beat Sony the punch and announce a surprise Xbox Pro?
Yeah.
I was thinking that's one of the things like we already know about that whole mid-gen refresh, so maybe it gets extra bump.
Yeah,
but Kojima's game as well. That's another one.
It's always always potentially Achilles. Yes,
StarCraft exclusive.
That would be.
I'm just trying to think of the things at the Game Awards. That would be like, because. And you guys got to understand why I'm saying not do this at the Game Awards. I mean, not do this at the Xbox Showcase. Correct. Instead do it at the Game Awards, because at the Game Awards, you know who the audience is, right? You have a lot of us Xbox fans watching, but you have a lot of PlayStation fans watching. You have a lot of Nintendo fans,
especially this year with the awards that are being given out. Right? There's gonna be a lot more interest this year, even more so.
You have mobile gamers, you have like people that only play on PC, you know, like you have this like wide net, and it's like the people that just love games.
All the like Twitch influencers co-streaming it and all that shit.
Everybody's covering the shit, right? So you go there and you drop the biggest fucking thing you could possibly drop to blow the doors off the place, but you walk away from that show being the talk of the show, no matter what else happens there, right? Just like Hellblade 2 was, and also Perfect Dark. That year that Perfect Dark was shown at the Game Awards, afterwards, all the articles everybody was talking about, Perfect Dark is back. Everybody was so fucking pumped that they saw Perfect Dark there, right? Like, that's been like 20 years later and still no more Perfect Dark news, but we're still, you know, it has a huge impact at that show because of the audience that watches. And there was even reactions. You guys remember the reactions when they showed like Perfect Dark originally? Like, and everybody's like, what's this fucking game? There's all these reactions of all these PlayStation guys like, oh, what's this game? What's this game? Oh, this is fucking awesome. Yeah. Oh, this is great. Oh, Perfect Dark's back. I remember that from Nintendo. Oh yeah, this is gonna be great. And they're like, Xbox, oh, this fucking sucks, man. Oh, garbage. You know, like, it's hilarious, dude.
If ZeniMax online game to Star Wars, like, that would be a good one to drop.
Yeah.
Well, like KOTOR,
or I mean, just Star Wars, and if you just have a Star Wars IP, and you can, that would be like a fucking, here's my dick, and just throw it out.
Whoa, like, Jasper, bra.
So, like, what I'm getting at is like, maybe the Xbox has been screwed over by the Game Awards, but Xbox can fuck over the Game Awards by being the talk of the Game Awards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, take advantage of them. Take advantage of the platform and like use this opportunity to your own benefit, despite the slights. You know what I mean? Turn that shit around on them. Jax82 hit us early with the $5. Says, I'm good with the Last of Us 2 remaster. Last of Us 2 remake. That can fuck off. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Seaman Stains.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm trying to see what the whole name is, but it's cut off here. Seaman Stains on...
Your parents are awful.
It says stains on DCG's face.
Yeah,
Dreamcast
guys.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Wow. Okay. I'd pull out and spray a game show at the same time.
Okay.
I pull out and spray a game show at the same time. Okay.
That's on brand. It's on brand with the name. So yeah.
Right on.
It's like that Mickey Mouse thing with the like little like boy bands or whatever on South Park, where Mickey Mouse just pulled out a hose and started spraying the audience down.
Yeah, I pull out and spray a game show at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, Seaman Stains. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate the 2 pounds.
Hey, hell yeah. Let's go.
Oh man.
He did say Seaman Stains. So just to clarify, everybody. So I don't know. I'm for these reasons, just for the unexpected, I still like to watch the Game Awards.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know? And we're going to co-stream it here. So
yeah.
If you want to see, if there is a crazy moment that happens, guys, and you want to live in that moment with us, come tune in here to Fun Speculation and watch the Game Awards. So if they do drop a massive, crazy surprise, we'll all be there to enjoy it together. If this is the place you want to be, there's going to be lots of people co-streaming. It's going to be awesome coverage everywhere. But I'm definitely planning on doing that, and we're going to have some fun with it. But yeah.
But we're going to have loads of laughs.
Loads of laughs. The other thing that could obviously be shown is Hellblade 2, right? Again. You know,
you actually show us gameplay instead of some fucking audio mocap bullshit.
Well, maybe that's what they're holding back for. You know, or if they do another, this is Iceland again. You know, like
their next big showcase has to be a direct, and it has to be a full blown. Let's show
to
everybody
fair,
everything.
These things are just like Twitter things, website things, and stuff like that. They weren't like at a big show. Right?
But we're just at that point with Hellblade 2 now, in my opinion. Again, if you all want to see another teaser, you know, / whatever you want to call it, that's fine. I just want to direct with just showing us a lot of gameplay. That's really what I wanted.
If they did a Hellblade 2 direct, like a Starfield direct, it'd be pretty sick.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
But I don't know if you could fill up 45 minutes.
I don't want to
no,
fucking
you don't have to
40
be that
minutes
long. No.
Just
20
minutes.
to 20, somewhere around that neighborhood. Yes.
Okay, so
absolutely.
let's predict the next direct, right? Is it probably going to be in January, February, like last year, right? So
yep. Set up to 6 months. Yep.
Ara, show it there. Towerborn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Final
feel like
showings.
I feel like Towerborn has a lot more depth and stuff than people realize, and it does need that longer showcase, right, for people to really kind of grasp everything that game is. And
is
then
that the shadow drop of the show?
Maybe late January with a shadow drop.
Was there a release date already for Towerborn?
No.
Or a season?
You mean a window?
Or did they just say early 2024 or something like that? I could have swore Towerborn had like more of a like specificness to it.
Coming 2024, it's all it says.
It says 2024.
Okay.
We just knew that it was kind of early 2024 by what they were showing off, right? So yeah, but they just said 2024. So
okay. All right, so we get those 2 games. Now, last time we had a dev direct in January, they shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush, right?
Correct.
Which had not been a game that was even announced.
It was only supposed to be 4 games, and then they had Hi-Fi, which was the 5th game, which was a surprise.
Right. They showed Forza at that too, right? At that dev direct, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means they're willing to show games that are coming out in way later in the year, because Forza ended up coming out in October, right?
But people thought that was going to come out in like summer,
June.
so maybe it got delayed.
I think they knew at that time, though, because the language, that's when we started speculating on it. Like, because after that dev direct, we were kind of like, they didn't say it, like, they seemed kind of like they weren't ready, you know what I mean? And that was going to be pushed to later that year. So I think they had, because they were like, be patient with us, we'll have more news for you later, you know. I think that
But see, like if they're doing that whole year, like I don't know if you get Towerborn there because it seems to be like their bigger games with Hi-Fi Rush kind of being that surprise game. The only way you get Towerborn, I think, is if it's that shadow drop.
Right. So, do you think they include ABK stuff in this kind of thing?
No.
No.
What about if
Not
they do
yet.
one later in this year?
I think ABK is probably still kind of going to be under its own marketing at that point. It's going to take another year or two before they kind of.
And I think they'll use BlizzCon as like the Blizzard Direct, right? They'll use BlizzCon in that way. Like I said, they will hold things to show at the Xbox showcase, but then you always have BlizzCon, 4 months later to show off like a direct, because we just saw what Blizzard did with BlizzCon. They deep dive their games there, right? So then you have that as a specific spot where everybody goes. Again, you can't take away from what BlizzCon is to the BlizzCon fan. The BlizzCon fan base is too big and too passionate. It's too much already entrenched in the industry. So you don't change it if you're Xbox, but you use it as a supplement, and you'll specifically pick out certain titles that you want to showcase at the Xbox showcase, but then you have them get completely deep dived at the BlizzCon for that fan base specifically, even if it's coming to console. I think it's the perfect spot. I just don't think you change what BlizzCon is inherently.
Yeah.
So that's like your direct for all those types of games, for the Blizzard games.
Yeah.
Now, Activision games, that's a different story. If you suddenly start having some new Activision games outside of COD, right, and you have some, things in the works, whatever they may be, a Crash Bandicoot or whatever, I think you could certainly put those into an Xbox Direct.
Right.
100%. Yep.
Okay. So
my opinion.
What I'm trying to get at though, is they did have a big surprise at the January Dev Direct, and it doesn't always have to be a shadow drop, but I think a good payoff at those things would be good to set forward going forward. Like, hey, you need to tune into these Dev Directs, right? Like, the Starfield Direct stood on its own, right? And it was after a huge show just full of fucking reveals, right? At the Xbox showcase, right? So you didn't really, we already knew what that was. But if you're having a Dev Direct, like, hey, tune in to see these things, and then you get, hey, holy shit, there's a whole new game that we didn't know about or whatever, I think that's a cool way to make sure you set the precedent to people always tune into those things. Shadow Drop last year set the tone. So maybe if
wasn't Hellblade at the first Dev Direct?
I think they just talked for like a minute or something. I can't remember.
Because I thought it was more that mocap audio bullshit, wasn't it?
I think that was a separate thing. I don't think that was shown at the actual.
What games were there? It was
Forza, Hi-Fi, not Deathloop, Redfall. Did they say anything about Starfield at that first one?
No.
Because there was supposed to be 4 games there.
Yeah, it was 4, but it became 5.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh yeah. So Forza, Minecraft Legends, Redfall.
Minecraft Legends. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, so maybe this one they go in with Aura, Towerborn,
Flight Sim,
Hellblade 2, maybe Flight Sim, and then have some other surprise. Maybe id's game. Do we know what id's working on yet? They didn't say, right?
No.
So
they've been helping out a lot of different places, but no, we don't know. Again, according to the leak, it was another Doom.
Yeah, Doom Year Zero.
When was that? What was this timetable on that release? Do we remember from those documents?
2022, I think, as well, or 2023. I can't remember. I think it was somewhere in there. I don't remember offhand. I'd have to go back and find.
Yeah, and some of these things could have been changed.
Yeah, it could totally change. Right. That was an old, older doc from Bethesda. Yeah. So who knows? Anything could have changed. Because again, we've had rumors of the Quake reboot. We've had all sorts of crazy stuff in the meantime. So we'll see. But it has to be working on something as well. I mean, obviously, too talented.
What would be the biggest surprise for you guys? Either at the Game Awards or the Dev Direct. Let's say they do have one surprise at one of the shows, right? Like what would like make the what do you think? Let me change this question. What would make the biggest impact for Xbox at one of these shows?
A new IP announcement that wasn't announced, that wasn't known, so they surprise announce a game.
I mean,
I just
yeah,
reposted
that
that.
Yeah.
I
mean,
thing.
yeah, a new IP certainly from one of their big studios certainly would be.
Thanks,
Otherwise, you're talking about the stuff that we've talked about already, like Elder Scrolls 6, like another trailer for that. Like that would be huge. StarCraft coming back would be massive at a Game Awards show, right? That would be, again, we talked about this. That would crush the internet if they announced something like that. So there's some very obvious ones, but I think that like ID's, like whatever ID's working on, if they come out because of the, because it is so highly regarded, when they announce their new game, that will be a huge moment for Xbox as well. So I think yeah.
I was gonna say, what if Coalition all along was working on the ID's new game, helping them with Unreal 5, if that's where they're gonna go, unless they're doing it. But they got
why would they go? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. They got id Tech. It's already proven like to be flawless. Like it's fantastic. Yeah, I can't imagine them going to UE5.
Because I'm just saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just thinking because they were working on 2 IPs that no one knew about, and then they stopped to start Gear 6. I'm just wondering who picked the mantle up for those 2 games, or they're just still sitting there.
I think they're just on the back burner. Yep. Probably. Like they just like, hey, we just want to buckle down and get Gear 6 out because
they're in progress.
Time. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe they realized how much of a bitch Unreal 5 was going to be, and then they were like, well, fuck these other things. This is going to be a task, right?
Or they learned enough to start working on Gear 6. I think it's priority number 1 for them to finish that second trilogy off for Gears. I mean, that's obvious. They got to get that done. So
is that going to be like a reset period after Gear 6?
Yes.
I think so, too.
Yep.
So wait, when you say reset, like just basically reset in the world of Gears, or reset as in totally different IP direction?
I think here's what I want, right? Here's my dream for the Coalition. Okay. We released the Gear 6.
Yep.
They've already worked on all this technology behind the scenes to get Gear 6 out and stuff, and Unreal 5. They've become masters again with Unreal 5 like they have been every other Unreal engine, right? Gear 6 lands amazing and is the fucking masterpiece that actually turns this trilogy into something that we really appreciate as Gears fans, right? Then, let's say 3 years later, Coalition releases a new IP, right? And then 3 years after that, you have a new reboot for Gears of War, right? So then you're kind of like taking it back, or maybe a new take on Gears made by them, but also you turn into a 2-team kind of development studio where you have like this alternating schedule of games where we can kind of look forward to. Because I think the Coalition is completely capable of making a whole new world and something that we love and can appreciate. And I don't, and as much as I love them on Gears and I want them to keep working on that, I want to see what else they can do also, but I don't want somebody else taking over Gears either. So, and that Gears needs to continue. So
yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. I would like to see possibly a licensed IP for that new IP per se. Like I still think having a Punisher game by them would be like almost like it would be on par with like Spider-Man for PlayStation. I think they would be able to churn out something as long as they're willing to go full bore with the gore that they already have in Gears and continue that with
the fucking
Punisher.
Ninja Turtles game.
Wait, did you say Turtles game?
Yeah, Ninja Turtles game. If they do a Ninja Turtles game in like UE5, like it was super gory, like that would be awesome.
Well, there is that Ronin game that's in the works, but I mean that would actually work as well. But anything that would be kind of like a licensed IP, even if they were to revisit Matrix, or the Matrix as far as like turning that into an actual game as opposed to a tech demo, that could be kind of cool. But I would love to see the Punisher as
yeah. I'm just trying to like think of stuff that's not like superhero related. I don't know. Kind of.
Yeah.
Can we do other licensed stuff besides superhero games, please?
Well, give us an example. What do you want?
It just.
You want Coalition to make a Star Trek game. I know that's what you want, man.
I just said Ninja Turtles. I just
okay. Yeah. I wanted Rocksteady to make a Ninja Turtles game. But we got this bullshit instead.
Really what you do, if I was sitting in Phil's chair right now, right, and I have the Coalition in the spot that they're in right now, and I have 343 in the spot that they're in right now, I want Coalition to obviously get Gear 6 out, like you said, Matt, get Gear 6 out, but then you got to start looking to next gen, and you've got to decide what you're doing with Halo and what you're doing with Gears going forward. And with the Coalition, right, with how Unreal Engine 5 is progressing this generation, we're not going to see UE5 peak by the end of this generation, right? It'll probably still be getting updates. It'll probably still be, taking advantage of the latest and greatest PC hardware. It's probably going to be pushing a lot of boundaries at that point. Next gen would be the perfect starting point for you to reboot Gears and have it ready within the first year or 2 years of launch of that next console, right? So I think you have Coalition buckle down and really decide where they're going with Gears going forward. Because again, that universe is too big. You don't let it, get mothballed no matter what. And you start looking at how you're going to, unlike this gen, you're going to dominate the first 3 years. You now have enough studios. You have enough content coming that you can handpick certain studios, like a Bethesda with Elder Scrolls 6, like a Coalition, like a 343, since they are in rebuilding mode and obviously rethinking Halo and the Halo universe, what they're going to do there. They've got the multiplayer going, but what are you going to do with Halo going forward? So you start rebuilding that team now and deciding what you're going to do with it. If it's certain affinity, whatever, that's fine. But you really decide what you're going to do with these big
and start fucking working on it now so it works.
Correct.
By
That's
the time
what I'm
next
saying.
Comes.
That's what I'm saying. You have the luxury now with how many studios you have, and this is what we talked about, Matt, handpicking your roadmap. But you start looking at the next gen of whatever date that is, if it's 27 or 28, whatever it's going to be, and you say, how are we going to dominate the first 3 years out the gate? And if we've talked about this before, man, if you come out and you're rocking and rolling with Call of Duty next gen on your console as a first party in Game Pass, you come out with an Elder Scrolls 6 within the first year of launch with all the next gen bells and whistles. If you come out with a Gears in the first year or two of that next gen, a reboot of the entire franchise, and you've got Halo ready to come out within the first 2 years of your launch, you are so far ahead of what PlayStation is going to be able to do next gen. It's insane. You use this advantage that you've got because you have enough content to keep you going. You got enough studios to keep you going through this gen, plenty, and you're going to have more. They're not done acquiring, so they're going to have more underneath their belt by the time it's all said and done. But I think you really take some of your big franchises, your hand-picked ones, and get those studios lined up and those teams lined up for next gen, because you could absolutely crush the competition content wise to start of next gen. They might not have a shot out the gate. Not that they're not going to sell. They will sell, obviously. They'll have things ready, but you could just flood them for the first couple of years of that gen. That's what I would personally do if I was Phil.
Like the first year, you could have like, if you get to work on it now, the first year you could have Halo, you could have Gears, you could have Elder Scrolls 6 come out as the holiday game. You could have the biggest fucking year.
Yes, right. That's what I'm saying.
That would be nuts, dude.
Plus the next gen version of Call of Duty ready to rock. Yeah. Bro, you could be so, you could dominate.
Release a big update for Forza Motorsport at that time too, like they've been working on. So it's like, you don't have
I think that's the problem though. If we get Gear 6 like within the next 2 years, I don't know if you get a Gears to the first like year of the new Xbox though.
It depends because if they will have mastered Unreal Engine 5 up to that point, right, Jasper? So time frame wise, depending on how they're going to reboot or what they're going to do with the franchise, whatever they decide to do, right? They will know the inner workings of UE5. So production will probably go faster for Coalition. Coalition's always been good at that, right? So I think you technically could still work it out where they are ready, where you don't have any lapses, assuming we don't have pandemics, assuming nothing else crazy in the world happens. I think you could line it up so that they could have it out that first year. Maybe not right at launch, but within that first year of launch. And that would still be massive, depending on when you're planning it.
Yeah. Just thinking about all this stuff.
Yes.
The road ahead for Xbox is insane, dude.
Bro.
They
could have
so many things, man. There's so many fucking games that are in that
so
we
much
know
potential.
Are in the works, and it's
potential.
like we start thinking about what is after they release this next thing, what are they going to do next and stuff. It's like
this
holy shit, all these teams, man. If they got so many teams,
the fucking Infinity Award, like sci-fi RPG.
I was just gonna say it. Jasper, you're reading my mind. If that just started, Jasper, within the past couple years, that would be about the time, like 5-6 years, right? You could have some big brand new IP.
On that, the first new IP out of Infinity Ward, like fucking 20 years, like that's gonna be fucking huge.
BioWare devs. Yeah. Oh my god, man. It would be ready right out the gate.
Maybe Perfect Dark's finally ready. State of Decay 3 is going to come in the next couple years too.
Yeah. I mean, they're set. That's what I'm saying. They're set. So they have the advantage because they already have at least the next, I would say, 3 years lined up now. 24, 25, and 26. They can probably already see their roadmap.
They know
that far out.
They know they're fucking eating, man.
They're eating good, man. And now with all this extra revenue coming in from Activision Blizzard, like this is a continuous cycle for them. So now they've got that 3-year roadmap. So you do now have the luxury of starting to look ahead a little bit to the next gen. And like I said, just handpicking a few teams out to say, okay, guys, get done with what you're doing. And then you're going to start thinking, this is what we think the tech's going to be that we're putting in there. This is where we're at with it. We need you to start thinking about what you're going to do with these massive franchises. Because again, as Jasper pointed out, Elder Scrolls 6, Gears, Halo, all within the first year of launch. Plus, you got Call of Duty coming into Game Pass at that point. It's undeniable what that launch lineup would look like for Xbox.
Could you imagine trying to have to do Matt Booty's job right now?
No, I can't. Not without help. I would love to, though.
Is that what he's doing? Just looking at this map?
Yes.
Holy fuck! What am I gonna do with all this shit? You know, like where am I like there's this like calendar of dates and stuff, and there's like too many games to even fit in it. And it's like where am I?
Well, I think first you got to get like a 10-year calendar. You got to mark the games down, and then like every day you just email that one team. It's like, okay, I need your updates for today, and then the next day you do the next game.
Yeah, just work backwards for the 10-year out plan. You know, build it out, figure out like what Pong was saying. Have something planned out for the next 5 to 10 years, and then start counting backwards, making sure you give enough time and even overlap time if things do, miss deadlines or get pushed and whatnot. Have it so you have a bubble for even extra, tweaking, fine tuning, and polish and all that stuff. And then have like a possible plan B for maybe some third parties. Like, hey, we would like to have, these, 1 or 2 family-friendly games for the launch. Get that going. Have your own in-house teams. Make sure that there's a Crash Bandicoot of some sort ready to go at launch. Another Minecraft spin-off kind of thing. Yeah, and go from there. But yeah,
and think about this too, guys. Now that we talk about these other franchises that are hitting in the next 2 to 3 years as well. So you're going to have the teams already built up, right? As long as you keep the teams together, as long as you keep expanding these studios, this is what we've always talked about as well. Nobody talks about this, but Xbox has been hiring nonstop. If they get all these teams to a point where there is 2 teams at minimum per studio that can work on these alternating titles, right? Then you're talking about Fable and Perfect Dark having sequels ready for the next gen, because again, they're already going to have the building blocks done. The hardest part is going to be done. So yes, most AAA titles are taking 5 to 6 years.
Did early this gen, right?
Yes, correct. So then you're talking about within those first 2 to 3 years having you could even potentially have it in the first year, but having a Fable 2 sequel lined up, right? A new Fable lined up right out the gates within the first couple years of launch. Another Perfect Dark right out the gates. You could have another Hellblade. You could have Hellblade 3 ready within the first couple years of that next gen, right? Insane.
Again, these are just the big games, but you got to think about the stuff
all
in between.
The little
like
stuff in between.
We have like Tim Schafer's
and
studio.
The unknown.
Like who knows what they've been working on stuff. Like
they've been working on multiple games.
Yeah,
supposedly.
so we got those. We got Obsidian. We got all these smaller studios that are kind of your filler in between your big games that are, and that's what a lot of people play in between. That makes up a lot of time.
Starting next gen could be absolutely fucking nuts, bro.
Yeah,
nuts.
Yeah,
I'm getting hyped.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about this, like. It's pretty crazy, right? Jasper sent me the leaked list of the timelines, right? So, like when we're talking about what they could show, what kind of could be that surprise game next year, right? Originally the timeline, right? And this was for fiscal year, okay? So trying to put this into perspective, everything or Starfield seemed like it was a year and a half behind, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they got extra. They got extra.
It was fiscal year 21 end. Is that what that means? Right. So all these games were projected to have come out in that window, and Starfield was on that list, which that ended in, I think it was like March or April 2022.
It says fiscal year ending December 31st on that top right corner.
Okay, fiscal year ending December 31st. Okay, so they were expecting Starfield to come out
in 2021
and at the end of 2021, and it came out almost 2 years later.
Yeah,
right.
Correct.
You're in. It came out in September, right? Was it September? Yeah, September.
Yes.
So it was a year and 9 months later.
Yeah, so pretty much the end of 20.
Yeah. If we put that same kind of time window here, all right. So in 2022, which is a year after Starfield, there was Indiana Jones, an Oblivion remaster.
Correct, which is also rumored to be next year.
Right. Elder Scrolls Online expansion and Starfield DLC. Which
so those will all be next year. If
right.
we get Oblivion next year.
Oblivion remaster. Indiana Jones. Like we're talking about what was originally planned for a year after Starfield, right? Yes. And now look at this list as well, right? Just to put things in perspective, 2021 end also had Redfall. Also had Elder Scrolls Online expansion, the one that I'm sure did hit last year. It had,
all of 2021 is
as so out. Far. Yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo, right? Fallout 76 that had already come out, right? A Project Hibiki, which we think is Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
Project. Those are mobile things. I'm not going to read those, right? So everything else was accurate for if either released this year or prior, right? So 2022, we should think maybe next year should potentially happen. That's Oblivion remaster, and that's Indiana Jones. Unless Indiana Jones got pushed back even further than the other games, right? It's possible.
Which they might give it extra time. Again, right. They have 100%. So much they now can give games extra time to get polished. This was the ZeniMax strategy because ZeniMax board needed games to come out, right? So there is the potential that some of these do get pushed again as well. So
there's also potential because of all of this and stuff that the fiscal year 23 year-end games could still come out next year as well.
Correct.
Because if you look at the 21 ones, some of those had actually hit prior, right? Or earlier this year. And this is kind of getting past where the COVID has much of an effect on the hardcore development of these games. And one of these games that's on this list, id, didn't have another game that released in the meantime. And for the 2023 year-end games, listed as Doom Year Zero.
Correct.
So that is a potential 2024 game as well. Project Kestrel, which is supposedly what we're thinking is that ZeniMax Online game.
Correct.
And then you have another Elder Scrolls Online expansion, and then
you have one every year.
And then Project Platinum. Did we figure out what that one was? Project Platinum. I can't remember if we did.
No.
That was just unknown. Did we think it might have been that Agents game or not Agents? What was the one?
Spies versus Spies.
Spy Team, Spy Teams or something
Spy
like
Team.
that. Spy Team, yeah. The one that there was a code name really leaked for. So don't know what Project Platinum is, but Project Kestrel has planned expansion for the following year. So that led us to think it's the new ZeniMax Online game. So next year, just potentially, and for sure within the next 2 years, I would say more than likely, you have Indiana Jones, the ZeniMax Online game, Doom Year Zero, right? Oblivion Remaster. Did I say Indiana Jones already? Just from the Bethesda side, which is crazy, on top of the other stuff. So I think we're going to get one of those next year.
Yes, at least one.
And none of them have been announced.
No. Well, Indiana Jones.
Well, Indiana Jones, but for next year, I mean.
And Todd did say we will hear more about Indiana Jones next year. So,
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not crazy speculation. That's not like reading the tea leaves, conspiracy theory shit. This is just like looking at a leak and then trying to time it.
Right.
Yeah, the only two games that are announced that we know of are Indiana Jones and Elder Scrolls 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So next year we could get one of those games, right? We could get let's see, what's the other game? Hellblade 2, Avowed, Aura, Towerborn, Flight Sim. Did I say Oblivion Remaster?
Nope.
No.
That's 7 things that we can think of kind of off the top of our head right now.
Correct.
So tune into the Game Awards, guys. I'm just saying, like, and then if not, if they don't have anything there, then the Dev Direct, because they got to have opportunities to show things, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And regardless, I think next year's fucking Xbox Showcase,
yes,
is going to be absolutely batshit crazy.
Correct. It should be from here on out.
Yeah.
There's no reason
it has
why.
been the last 2 years, but going forward even more so.
Correct.
This
is what we talked about. This is what we talked about, man. It is. And like I said, there's unannounced things. They've been growing these teams. Machine Games just opened a new studio.
Yeah.
There's unannounced things. There are things that have probably been greenlit since the acquisition. There's going to be things that are greenlit from the acquisition of ABK that were mothballed or not, agreed to by the ZeniMax board or by the Activision board. There's going to be this stuff continuously that we don't know about. And Xbox, again, is not shying away from the fact that they are expanding these teams. I expect their studios to be working on 2 and 3 games at a time. Like, it's going to be crazy. And that ESO
third-party teams that they're working with as well.
Yeah. And again, they're not going to stop working with the third-party teams. I saw somebody in chat bring up the moat conversation. The moat conversation is a protective stance that if anything does get funky in the industry, if the third parties, do continue to do deals with Sony or with Nintendo, Xbox doesn't have to overspend anymore. They can produce it in-house now. Or if something really wild happens and the industry does take a step back, then they themselves don't have to worry about that because they already have all the talent they need. That's what the moat is about. It's protecting themselves from any outside influences directly affecting what their years are going to look like. They're going to be able to set their years in stone, and anything extra that they work out for deals or whatever else that they have, like third parties and that kind of stuff, is just going to be the cherry on top. They already have the entire cake built, right, from internal stuff. They will already know what they have. They won't go into a year guessing what they have or what they might have. They won't be worried about contracts being signed so much anymore. That's what the mode is about.
Yeah. That guy is just trolling in the chat anyway.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, but it's legit something to bring up because that's what the mode is. A lot of people don't understand what the mode is. They're not gonna stop doing third-party deals.
Need third-party deals. So I mean, come on. He also says kind of ironic. It's PlayStation with a 2024 release date after months of roadmap smack talk. Okay, so hold on.
Yeah.
Are you really going out there with saying the roadmap and bringing up Last of Us Part 2 leak remaster? Is that the release date you're talking about for next year?
Yeah. It'd be nice if they had new IPs, but it is what it is.
How about a new fucking game? That would be even better. I mean, I don't know. Just put it out.
Concord.
Just putting it out there.
Nate Dogg, if you got a link for that, I'd like to see it. I had not heard there was a new engine being built for Project Kestrel. So yeah, if you got a link to something that has that a source, please send it. I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah,
that would be interesting too.
I mean, also there's all these passing projects that we know Xbox likes to greenlight, and they're not going to announce those until they're about to come out, or they'll shadow drop them. So it's
they'll go into preview like Grounded did, or whatever the case. They're going to start using preview more, I believe. I think that's going to be a way forward too, and a lot of. Bro, it's going to get interesting. Oh,
well, remember Obsidian made mention that they had 7 games for 6 years or something, and we've only really heard about 5.
That's what they wanted, right? That's what they wanted to do. So yeah, you're right, Fuzz. Again, Obsidian's got multiple teams.
Yeah.
They got 3 teams at least underneath them, right? So yeah, we didn't even talk about Outer Worlds 2 coming at some point.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I would say it's probably gonna be end of the generation.
I think that would be like their last. I won't say last hurrah, but at least for this gen.
I think
one of the last bigger games for this year,
2027.
Yeah. It's going to be a great year next year for sure. Yes. Also, I mean, I do think PlayStation's going to have an okay year. I honestly feel like they have a really shaky pipeline right now, right? Where we don't know a lot. But in the back of my brain, I've been trying to play businessman and knowing that PS5 Pro, is coming. I feel like they're gonna have some reveals around then. Probably
they are.
They'll
have pro versions for everything as well.
Yeah,
and then they'll have remaster versions for everything as well.
And regardless of what it
Returnal
is,
remastered
that they shove down the throats, that people are gonna consume it and love the shit out of it regardless.
Think about this, not to tack on, but the opening year, the launch year for the next gen. What if Obsidian has a Fallout New Vegas 2 ready?
Oh my god.
It's right. Yeah, a year after Elder Scrolls 6, right? Comes out. They got a Fallout New Vegas ready for us.
Same year.
Chicago.
First half of
New same Vegas. Year. Yeah, the second half is Elder Scrolls 6. That'd be crazy, bro. But you think about that. That's the possibilities that we're talking about here.
Man, Bethesda was such a fucking good acquisition for them, dude.
All those studios were. Those 2017, 2018 studios were freaking in exile. I swear, in exile by the end of this generation is going to be, people are going to be waiting. After Clockwork Revolution comes out, I'm betting that it hits and everybody's going to be clamoring for the next In Exile game. If they go back to Wasteland again and they get a bigger budget for a Baldur's Gate 3 level Wasteland.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There was something interesting today that happened within the Xbox development side. That I saw. I don't remember who posted it. It was either Idle Sloth or Hazardor or Clobrel. One of the go-to people that break news and share news a lot. Was Dan Greenwald actually got promoted to head of Turn 10 Studios. Which I miss seeing him doing the presentations for all the Forza Motorsport stuff. He was kind of the face for Forza for a long time. And as he was creative director over those games.
Shout out to Hazardor. Has posted it. That was the one. Yep. Shout out to Hazardor.
And then he got promoted to a different role. He became general manager of Forza, where he wasn't directly the creative director over the individual games, but he was general manager over the creative vision for the Forza brand, right? Mm-hmm. Which is kind of I don't understand how all this works, but now he's actually head of Turn 10 Studios. So that's a big move because a lot of people don't know that Turn 10 is involved with Horizon also, right? But they also do a lot of they build the tech that the most of the tech that's used for both of those games, right? So he's been somebody that was there at the peak of Forza Motorsport, right, all along from the beginning in the face. And to see that he's making all the decisions for Turn 10 now, like as the head of that studio, like I feel like that's a good promotion there as well.
Well, Hartman moved into Booty's old spot, so
yeah, is that who was the role before? Right, was him.
Yeah,
so
I think Alan Hartman was the main guy for Turn 10. Now he's doing Xbox Studios content. I guess like roadmap stuff, while Booty's like the overall, person in charge between Bethesda and Xbox Studios and stuff like that as far as their content map. And I'm assuming at some point probably roll in maybe ABK under there as well. But to have Greenwald kind of moved up into Hartman's old spot's pretty cool. We'll see how things shake out. I'm hoping that means that they'll have more of a not really necessarily a budget, but more resources to get some of those things that people were missing, like the drag racing and drifting and stuff like that. Make that more of a push to get those in sooner rather than later, kind of thing. So
we'll like Forza is such a good place right now. It's built as a game for the future as well. Like they're going to keep updating it, supporting it. Something I want to see change personally, like the game is the best racing game like I've played, right? As far as like on track and like the actual mechanics of racing, the way the tracks, the cars, all that stuff. But the outside of the race, when you're in the menus and all that shit, it's bare bones and it's like not really like a lot there, and it's taking a step back in a lot of those areas. So I want them to kind of reimagine and completely redo the outside of racing experience, right? And then keep the track racing the same. I don't mind the RPG stuff and the progression, but like the garage, like all the menus, all that kind of stuff, I think they need
the presentation aspect.
The presentation aspect outside of the actual core game experience. Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, the presentations is pretty good. But I do like certain aspects of like what you see in Gran Turismo, just a smidge better in certain instances.
That's where Gran Turismo shines compared to like Forza, but like Forza, where it matters most, shines.
Yeah, they got the core, the foundation for what racing's all about as far as the feel on track and everything. They got that pretty much locked down. But just like for me, it's always been like the little minor things. And I know people are like, oh, who cares about painting a racing helmet or a racing suit in a racing game? Well, I kind of do, because it's part of the immersion. But, I think with having Greenwald, because he is big into the paint booth stuff, that like there are definite advantages that they have in the paint booth for Forza. But I would like to see them kind of borrow an idea that Gran Turismo has, where you can import decals. We'll see. It's not that important, but he's the kind of guy that will make things happen for, those, I wouldn't say shortcomings, but things that like some of the fan base are requesting and stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
Were they asking for a Candy Crush style game?
No, but that might be a whole different team. Like I saw that and I'm like,
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna fucking play it.
The one gripe I have, and it maybe they still find a way to integrate it, but I would love for them to have, like, if they're going to do that mobile type game stuff to kind of get people into Forza or interested in Forza as a whole, have some of the stuff overlap. Like if you create awesome design as far as in the garage, and you get a certain amount of rewards from the Candy Crush stuff. Yeah, have that car, sent to your garage when you have your link your Xbox account and you have Forza that you've been playing. The car you designed is, in your garage for free.
Or even something as simple as like, if you win a match of that mobile game, you get 500 credits or something like that for like Forza.
Yeah, just something to carry over would make it so I would be willing to play, because like Forza Street, it was fine for like the first couple of times, but it's like, well, any mobile game that I'm used to, like those companion apps and things from before, it's like that's the busy work to feed, credits or prizes into the main game. That makes sense to me, but I don't know if that's the target that they're going for, type of thing.
So I had some ideas with it, what they could do for like some of the other stuff. Like, you can kind of walk around the car in the garage now, but you're kind of like stuck to like very close to it. It's kind of like glued to certain areas. You kind of get sucked into certain things. Like, I want to kind of be able to walk freely around the garage, so you can kind of see the cars like at different angles, and like from further away, and I would like to also be able to change the garage to different garages and different scenery, like, as well.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to, like, okay, so my garage I have where I pick my cars to set in there. You can see the 3 off in the distance. You place them there, but they're just way the fuck over there, and you can't really ever see them. So there's like no point in that existing, right?
Yeah.
But then you have your main car that you can see and you can walk around. But like, what I would like to do is be able to walk freely around that whole thing, so I can kind
like
of
a GTA garage.
so I can, maybe.
Yeah.
So I can see those cars and I can see my car. And then, like, what if I could, like, load up, like, Fuzzy's profile and check out his garage, and I could, like, load
That's
in
called
his garage and then
breaking and entering.
Well, I want to walk around and I want to see his car collection of the cars that he showcased, so I could go in and check them out and see, like, what his cars are. Then let's say I like that car. I could like hit a button and like download this tuning setup for it, download like the Forza, the graphics and the paint scheme, all that stuff. That'd be kind of cool interaction between like friends or whatever, and be able to kind of bring that to life a little bit more. But I mean, overall, there's just some presentation things. But other than that, the game's fucking incredible. Anyway.
Oh yeah,
that's my
that would be a cool feature, to be able to like customize your garage. Like if you already have the championship for the Builders Cup, you have your trophy that's on like the wall that you can take a look at and stuff. And like you said, walk to the other cars. Oh, I want to change out the wheels, and you don't have to go through like 10 menus to change out the wheels.
These weekly events, you win stuff that shows on the garage. Like, like that'd be sick.
Yeah. Fingers crossed they adopt that stuff.
Yeah. Listen to this show, guys. Dan, a new head of Turn 10.
And then you call it War Torn.
So, Dan, if you want the ideas, just come talk to us. Fuzzy here's got great ones. I got great ones for Forza. I'm playing the shit out of the game. I fucking love it. But when I go out of the racing, there's like nothing to fucking do. Like, you know what I mean? And as much as it seems weird, do you want to play the game when you're not racing? Yeah, sometimes I like to have that chill experience where you're kind of like really relishing everything you've done and the accomplishments, or like the cars that you own, and you really want to get that more of that tinkery type stuff. And it's like that's where it kind of like gets toned down, right? Somebody did make War Torn. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
I want fucking royalties, man.
What are you talking about?
We need royalties.
No.
There was somebody. Who do you know who tagged us, Pong?
No, I don't remember who did.
It was Tom from Toonami that tagged us.
Tom.
Oh, was it Tom?
Yeah.
Shout out to Tom.
Tom tagged us because there was a.
Oh, was it that RTS game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what that was. Okay,
right.
Yeah. That was It was War Tales.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't War Tales, was it?
No.
Yeah, he tagged us in War Tales. Or he tagged me in War Tales.
No, there's another
this
game.
was something else.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I thought you were talking about. But.
So fucking eerie close to what our game designed, but yeah.
So he tagged us and was like, "This sounds a lot like y'all's game that y'all made up the other day," and it was like a RTS set in like World War I with like city building and stuff. Like, and it was pretty crazy. Now, where it differed is it wasn't a first-person shooter RPG. Right, but like,
you're talking about the World War one that he tagged us in. Yeah.
Where the war never, if we didn't win the war type.
Yeah.
Oh, Kaiserpunk,
Kaiserpunk. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That one. Yes. Yep. It looks really good too, though.
Yeah,
it is on my list.
Right?
Yes, because I was like, this looks damn cool, man. Let's go.
It like checked like several different boxes from that
City Builder, RTS,
time period was the same.
Yep.
So like it checked like a lot of boxes from our creation that we had on our Halloween episode, but it missed the first person shooter aspect. So close enough though. All right. So moving on, guys. Y'all hear about this KOTOR remake is dead?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
again,
first off, nobody's gonna fucking want the treatment that they gave Final Fantasy 16 to KOTOR. You just can't do that. And they like, oh, they got a little vertical slice of the game, and it's like Sony's like, this is not like how we like our games to be made. So no, we'll put this on ice for now. And then nothing came of it. And then they had all this fucking Sony's house is burning down. They're like, well, that's one game we can definitely.
Can you give it to Larian?
I would rather see Obsidian.
Yeah. Well, Larian would be great, but they're kind of more like the top-down CRPG studio. But
I mean, they can change it a little bit. I mean, they got all like the dialogue and the options and stuff like that, I think.
Yeah, I think Bethesda would probably make. I don't know, man. Like, who would make the best one now?
Because I mean, Obsidian already made the sequel.
Yeah,
Obsidian.
No, Obsidian, I guess, right?
They know it, and they still have a lot of the original talent. Those people didn't leave Obsidian like they did BioWare, right? So they still got the original people there. So yeah,
yeah, because they originally KOTOR 2 didn't work out that great, you know.
Well, Obsidian pitched for this KOTOR. They were one of the original teams that did pitch for it.
They weren't owned by Xbox.
Yeah, they weren't owned by Xbox at the time. Correct.
And Xbox didn't have the team to make it, but they didn't also have faith in the Aura team, or not in the Aura team, the Aspire team, Aspire, or, yeah, whatever the fuck their name. I always can't say their name. Aspire, to make them, but also at the time they wanted to really invest in IPs that they owned as well, right? I think if that same deal had come across the table today, it'll be a different story, right? The question is, will that deal be back up on the table now? Does the contract that they had with Disney or whatever for this game, is there some kind of stipulation now potentially where the PlayStation doesn't matter anymore, all this other stuff didn't matter anymore about the funding and who's making it, and now there could be potential reassignment or up for grabs on this IP again?
Or it could even be like a thing where it's like maybe Sony still has like a 2-year deal with it, even though it's canceled. Maybe they still have it locked for 2 years under them.
That's what I'm asking. It could be like Sony backed the funding on this, and that's one of the reasons it got canned, because they saw it and they didn't like it. So Embracer Group panicked, and made a horrible decision and shifted a lot of stuff, and then now to the point where they put the game in people that didn't know how to make this kind of games hands. After Aspire had already recruited a bunch of people that originally had worked on the game and top tier type talent to make this style game, and they weren't happy with it because it didn't look like fucking God of War Ragnarok 3 or whatever. I don't know. And
yeah, pretty much, dude.
Now the game got put in Saber. They didn't know what the hell to do with it or how to make it, and now it's pretty much dead. And there's nobody working on it. Grubb said.
And we also know that Disney's talked about kind of wanting to do their own thing in games again. So maybe they just hold it off and do it themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, Disney's not ready for that.
No.
I think Microsoft should just go give them a bag. Here's enough to pay off whatever fucking contract Sony has. Let's go make this game. Here's Obsidian. Let a small team start it, finish Avowed, and then full hands on deck making this game to be ready in a couple of years.
Maybe Microsoft just buys Disney. How about that?
Yeah, that would
be. It's
minus the amusement part.
We're going to get the antitrust lawyers on the phone right now.
We really want to get that KOTOR game. How do we do it? Hey, just buy Disney. Okay, let's do it. Disney did say that. You're right about them wanting to do their own thing or starting. The board was trying to get the
board
right.
They don't know what the fuck how game development. All they see is dollar cents. So they're like, we should be doing it.
But that's not stopping them from just give it to fucking Barbie Princess Studio over here and they can make it.
The board was pushing them to buy like EA. So
they want. I think they want more talent that can do it. So they right. But I don't know what's the guy's name. Bob Iger.
Iger.
Yeah, Bob Iger. he, I think, is happy with probably the way it's set up right now, where they're just because they have no risk.
Yeah, less overhead.
You know, like
Iger's got enough problems as it is. Right now.
They've been
Yes, Captain
they've been going through some financial
the strike
troubles anyway,
and everything else. Yeah, Iger's got a lot to deal with right now.
And what I wouldn't want to see Disney do that though, because like they've already tried to do that twice and they failed. You know, they made some decent games, right?
See, but the problem is it's not what you want; it's what Disney wants, and they'll do whatever the fuck they think can make them money.
Again, yeah, I don't want Kathleen and Kennedy in charge anymore, and she still
you don't think
so.
somebody there will be like, you know, remember when we tried to do this before and we got out because we sucked at it?
Yeah, let's try it again. Like, it makes zero sense. All they see is dollar signs. Like, we need to make where we can go and make money. Hey, they're making billions of dollars in video games. I mean, let's get our hands on it.
We just watched them run the Marvel universe into the ground, for God's sakes, man.
Yeah,
these people aren't the best decision makers. Let's put it that way.
No.
How dare you with that slander, Pong Soul?
You know it. They just wrote a $300 million
They just made the worst movie or whatever.
Are you kidding me?
I kind of like the Marvels, man. It's
$300 million worth. Like,
I'm not writing the checks. I don't care how much money they waste on it.
Did that movie look like it was costing $300 million?
I mean, I don't know how much movies cost to make.
Come on, man.
You
run a show called Fun Pop. You know more than you're letting on.
It was a fun watch. It was a fun watch. You know,
it's so fun that nobody's watching it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they should. I think it's got some good stuff in there.
Because everybody's a bunch of ists and phobes. That's why. That's all it is.
Don't cap for Marvel, Duke. Do you not know me? I love the MCU. Like, I love even the shitty movies. I love them. Like, maybe some of them are overpriced.
Mav's a bootlicker.
I don't want it
Loki's
to end,
the only
man.
good thing that came out of Marvel since the end games.
We're not doing a Fun Pop episode.
Y'all are gonna run this shit to the ground before I get the X-Men, and I'm not gonna allow it to happen. Okay?
Well, they're never
They're going to destroy the X-Men.
No,
it's
they're
over
not.
With. Yes, they are.
They didn't destroy
my beloved
the Avengers. The Avengers.
They're gonna have
fire.
Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine. You know this. You know, they're gonna have fucking, you know, I don't know who to play Gambit, but they're not gonna have who you want.
You think they would have the actual original X-Men team or not, or just start a whole new?
They're gonna have whatever that stupid comic book you showed us where they had Strong Guy or whatever, in Teen Girl or whatever.
It's coming, bro. It's gonna be so bad.
Because of existing contracts, they're gonna have to stick to the regular cast until 2025, and they're gonna do some like experimental movies like
Disney's gonna change it
and stuff like that, and then after that. They're going to kind of have in the mutant saga. They're gonna go back to like with new cast and everything, and really build the X-Men up from scratch.
Yeah, if you leave it up to Kathleen Kennedy, it's gonna be X people.
Yeah,
right. Well, she's Star Wars, so.
And I heard Daisy Ridley's gonna play Jean Grey.
Yeah. Again, I'm at the point where I have zero faith, so whatever, go for it. I don't give a shit. If they surprise me and they make a great X-Men. Great, I will invest. I will go watch. But if they do what they've been doing, which I expect them to do,
X-Men kids,
then I've got what I've got from the X-Men.
Man, the payoff watching Marvel's the Avengers Endgame, right?
See, that's the thing. Everyone only likes that movie because the ending cutscene. That's the only reason people like that movie.
I love the movie because it's a perfect culmination to like.
No, you got hit with a massive nostalgia bomb right at the end, which brought that movie up to like a 9 for you.
Fuck no, yeah, I did.
Admit you're right. Fox ruined the X-Men as far as movies goes, but the thing that Fox did do was great casting for the X-Men. Their casting for the X-Men was freaking fantastic.
100%.
Their writing and the rest of it, bullshit.
The original
yes,
casting.
The original casting, correct.
Right.
The original, yes.
Not the fucking...
And not the kids and not the
not the university X-Men.
But to be fair, Marvel got a lot of casting right, too, with the Infinity Saga.
Yes, they did.
I mean,
but they haven't been great lately.
Thanos was Josh Brolin.
Here's a new character.
Shang-Chi,
Echo.
Simu Liu as Shang-Chi is amazing. Chris Evans as Captain America was perfect. You had Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. You had Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow.
We said that. That's great.
It was fucking
We're talking
amazing.
about new.
I mean, come on, man. It's like, what do we expect? I mean, these other characters they have now kind of like are just like whatever characters right now. I want the goods again. We'll see the big names.
Big people. They're
Dude,
they're
did you not
big
see the rumors for the
characters.
casting for the other people like Mads Mikkelsen?
Daniel
and then
Radcliffe
Javier
as
Bardem?
Wolverine? That's fantastic.
Dude,
Let's
I don't.
go.
The thing with all these rumors for the casting, I don't know where the fuck these are coming from, but it's every other fucking day. It's like, oh, this fucking dude's gonna play Mr. Fantastic. It's like, where the fuck is this coming from?
Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards potentially as well now.
Terrible.
We'll see how that one plays out. I'm
Why
not
would
100%
he be
sold.
Reed Richards?
But that's what they're saying. It's pretty much official. Yeah.
What wasn't it supposed to be the dude from The Office?
Yeah, the
Steve
one that was
Carell?
in.
Yeah, yes,
Not that one.
Yes,
The guy that
would
was
have
in
been the perfect cast.
Marvel.
Let's go.
Marvel. What is it? Doctor Strange. Marvel. The Multiverse of Madness. The person that played actual fucking Reed Richards.
Yeah, John
was a
Krasinski.
good.
Yeah.
That was good.
But he's not going to be him. It's going to be Pedro Pascal.
That's a
stupid.
stupid
It's
cast.
going to be Joel.
He's gonna be. What is he gonna do? He's gonna be like, tell me your wishes and I'll make them true.
No, he's not going to be the
Oh,
wish
sorry,
master.
wrong movie.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no. I mean,
He's gonna wear a metal helmet the whole time.
Pedro Pascal is awesome. Okay, besides his role as
He's
the
gonna have a
Wishmaster.
little fucking baby Yoda, like fucking tucked under his arm. Like,
All right.
hey, am I doing this right?
Okay.
That's your fun pop for Xbox Ultimate
All
this
right.
week.
I can't wait till they introduce the little side characters to X-Men. It's gonna be great. They all have their own little pet with them.
I don't
Oh,
give a
God,
fuck
stop.
as
Just
long as they don't do that in the Marvel movies.
No, it'll be X-Pets.
Yeah, X-Pets.
Oh.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I'll have a spin-off show like freaking.
Well, you have like
DC
fucking
dogs
was it,
and cats. DC
Psylocke
pets.
or whatever, or Bulldog, where the fucking Bulldog that's the mutant or whatever. Lockjaw. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Jose. There's already 2 Black Panther games in the works right now, so I don't think Xbox needs to jump into that fray. So
Yeah,
there's already 2.
they need to make an X-Men game.
And Black Panther's an overrated character.
I've
anyway.
said that they need to make an X-Men game. Again, the marketing rights itself, I can't believe. Again, give me the checkbook, Phil. I'll go cut some IP deals for you.
Yeah.
X-Men Xbox would be perfect.
Or just make a Gambit game.
I like Gambit, not as much as you, but
make
Just say make a
X-Men.
Punisher game.
You can have Gambit in X-Men and Wolverine.
Just make Hogwarts Legacy, but X-Men.
That would suck ass, dude.
No,
like,
you make your own X-Man and you go to school as a Professor Xavier, and then you go out and you fucking.
I don't want to play as a dorky ass kid student X-Men. I want to go out and be saving the fucking world.
I want to be the.
But you could
powerful.
make Gambit if you want to.
Yeah.
Gambit. I don't want to sit in fucking class as Gambit. I want to go be kicking people's ass with my stick.
But part of the fucking training is field training. You got to go out there and learn how to beat some assholes up.
Yeah.
Whoa. Pause.
Okay.
Yes, and they should already have a Spawn game in development for Xbox as well. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Anime compilations.
Yeah.
Spawn is so underutilized; it's not even freaking funny.
He's in Call of Duty. You got what you want.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. He was in what is it, Soul Calibur on Xbox, and then now
Punisher. Think about if Xbox lined it up: Punisher, Spawn, and an X-Men game. Like that would be like the perfect lineup for them. Like completely. Especially even if they went out and just got Spawn and Punisher, they would fit right in with the Xbox. Like stellar.
I would just say leave
and
it all.
Blade.
Just I don't care as long as I get a Gambit.
Yep.
Gambit and whatever.
A Blade game too, and in tandem with the movie. Now that the rumors are back on that the movie is going to be rated R, I'm okay with it again.
Gambit will
We'll
be
see.
in the new X-Men dating sim.
What the X-Men Rogue love story or the Gambit Rogue love story? That'd be great.
Yeah.
A Rogue
Wolverine can't have Jean Grey.
I get Colossus if we're just getting our X-Men that we want.
Okay, so let's each claim an X-Men that we can play. If we had to create an X-Men game, which would be your character? The Gambit? No, so nobody else can
Colossus.
take it.
Jean Grey,
Colossus,
Phoenix, obviously.
Jean Grey, Fuzzy.
Yep.
I would probably go Storm.
Storm? Right on.
Yeah.
Psycho? I love the anti-hero Phoenix Jean Grey story where she was fighting off the X-Men. That would be freaking dope as fuck.
And
Psycho?
He's looking up a list of X-Men right now.
Weapon X?
He has no...
Weapon X? Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. That's the female, Wolverine, right?
No. Weapon X is Wolverine, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jasper?
It's when he had all that metallic shit on his head.
Or am I thinking of the alternate universe in the...
You're thinking of X-23.
Okay, yeah. Are we sure about this?
Yes.
Berserker! Come here, bub. Colossus is a great character, Jasper, but I loved his relationship with Wolverine, right? Those two together.
I know he's like kind of a boring character at the same time.
He is.
I just like him so much though.
Right. He's got a great sister though. I'll give him that magic. So now I love magic after playing Midnight Suns too. So I do like magic, but him and Wolverine's relationship in the comics back in the day and Uncanny. Oh, bro, that was fucking classic. I love those two together. Along with Nightcrawler.
Weapon X is a fictional government genetic research facility project appearing in American comic books published by they were conducted by, okay, so it's like that's just like the experimental thing.
The thing with Colossus, he kind of just became the punching bag. It's like, oh, you need a big, strong guy to get punched. Like here's Colossus. Is like whatever.
So yeah, Weapon X.
You just want the big metal schlong. That's all.
Right, Wolverine, the original Weapon X. Why'd you just say Wolverine?
Don't want to be different. Isn't that the most psycho
Steel
thing
claim to Wolverine in the chat, by the way. So
okay, well, you can't have it's the same person. So anyway, that's fair. All right, let's move on.
Fun pop segment.
Let's go. Sorry guys. Diablo
chat was loving it. They're coming up with the ideas in chat. So
nice.
Yeah.
Vic, the motherfucking click with the $2 says, Gambit is not coming out, Mav. Give it up. Shit. It's a dream of mine. I actually have put out before that I want Sucker Punch to make a Gambit game. Like, I know it would be PlayStation exclusive, but I don't give a shit. Like, that developer's perfectly suited to make a Gambit game. Alvin with a $2 super chat said Iron Galaxy could have a new Killer Instinct ready for next gen.
Ooh.
Yeah. That was to the conversation of us with all the next gen games being ready.
Yeah.
That would be when KI2 could
5 years to launch KI2.
Maybe this is to test to see, the community get reinforced, and then, KI2 starts development. They really go all out and balls to the wall. Could happen. Diablo IV Expansion is coming next year. It looks pretty awesome. We saw a hint of it at BlizzCon. And there was, I guess, today there was some speculation or rumors from Charlie Intel about due to some kind of a survey thing, right? I saw this in the DMs. So there was some concern because there was like a $90 thing thrown out there, but like there's no way possibly in hell that they would release an expansion.
They're not going to charge you a DLC costs more than a fucking game. There's just no way.
Right. Yeah.
No,
so
that's probably like the Ultimate Edition with the expansion and the DLC, or like a season pass or something like that.
Right. And maybe see would you pay $90 for a bundle of content or something like that, right? Or something.
There's no way they're launching that expansion at $90.
But also $40 is on there too. So I think that would be probably like an expectation of a price tag for that. A
brand new land, brand new character with the full expansion of the story. Absolutely, I could see $40 for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right on. I'm hoping that Xbox gets that KOTOR remake at some point and does it, but we'll see what happens. And guys, I'm telling you, we will get a Gambit appearance in a video game. Again, besides Ultimate Alliance and stuff like that, I think we're going to get an actual Gambit. Here's a candidate for it. Okay, so we got Street Fighter 6. Do you think Marvel's just hey, willy-nilly giving up IPs and ideas and stuff. Like, you think maybe Capcom, Marvel get back together again and make another Marvel versus Capcom game?
It would be nice, but
It would be great.
Based on the core of Street Fighter 6?
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have an SNK versus Capcom, or a versus Street Fighter. But having Capcom versus or Marvel versus Capcom would be pretty cool as well. But something about SNK, it's almost like Neo Geo days and arcade days. That those two brands, head to head, I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I just looked it up. Reaper is Souls for Diablo 3. It launched at 40.
Yeah. So maybe it'll be 50.
Next gen tax.
Nah, 40.
I think
40 is a good price point
for expansions 40. For sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Legit. Yep.
Jay Rembert with the $2 says, I need a Xbox exclusive Ninja Gaiden reboot ASAP.
Ooh, God. Why don't they just work with From Software and bring back Ninja Blade? That was an Xbox exclusive IP.
Yeah.
I think Xbox might own that IP still. That would be dope. Now with how From Software is, pay him the bag.
This would be
something like that is working in the background. Like they've made so many trips to that region. I would not be surprised if that's not something already in the works.
And Phil said that they've got big games coming from the East, Fuzzy.
Yeah.
So
it could just be giving Platinum a bunch of money to waste.
No, I don't think they're making that mistake ever again. At least not Phil. No.
So Team Ninja's doing a game with Xbox, right? They're doing that other Capcom, or was it Capcom or Koei Tecmo, or who's doing the other game with Path of the Goddess? Who's doing
that?
That's Capcom. That's
okay.
Capcom.
And then there was another team doing another game. I can't remember the name of it.
It's multiplayer. It's just coming to Game Pass, right?
Atlas.
Yeah.
Path of the Goddess is multiplayer still. It's just coming to Game Pass day and day.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Atlas game. So Team Ninja's making Rise of the Ronin.
Right, for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and they just put out Wolong.
Yes.
Okay.
And Wolong came to Game Pass day and day, but Rise of the Ronin is exclusive to PlayStation. So
maybe, it would be time for Ninja Gaiden to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, they did the whole collection thing with the remastered collection. That's absolutely awesome. I recommend people get that because it holds up. But besides that, you kind of see the origin of Souls games in that game too a little bit. Like, even though it's from Team Ninja, like there's a lot of the same stuff that in Souls games were in the original Ninja Gaiden back then, and not the original, but the old Xbox ones.
But don't you kind of think that Ninja Gaiden's just one of those like early IPs from the generation, like early Xbox One generation that doesn't come up anymore? Like, I don't know. I feel like
it's already had one resurgence, like, because this was an old IP from back in the old school days.
Yeah,
right?
From Nintendo, NES.
And then
the hardest NES games. NES games.
And then Team Ninja brought it back, right? Mm-hmm. And it was fucking huge, dude. You were a little kid, Jasper, when it was at its peak, right? I understand you don't understand the significance of it, but I literally got an Xbox at one point. I didn't have an Xbox, and I went and got another. Actually, Kate got it for me. Another Xbox again, just for Ninja Gaiden. Like when the new one came out, like I had to fucking play that game. Like that Ninja Gaiden at the time was like peak fucking action game. It set the bar, right?
Yeah, but they haven't fucking done anything with it since what, like 360?
Exactly. So it's been just like originally between the NES to that time, right? It's time again, right?
Yeah, just do like a reimagining or like a reboot to some extent, kind of like the way they brought Demon Souls back. So I would say bringing Ninja Gaiden back at this point would be the thing to do and give it a try, and probably be a game of the year contender more than likely.
But without Mav,
without Itagaki,
without Itagaki.
He's the reason those games were probably so special, right?
Yeah.
Itagaki was huge, especially with Ninja Gaiden.
I mean, fucking Dead or Alive and all that shit.
Yeah, Dead or Alive was his. That was his brain.
It was so fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
It was so, like, he was closely tied to Xbox. I mean, they were doing Xbox exclusives, like launch games, all these things.
He's always loved Xbox. He's loved Xbox forever.
Yeah.
I can just go and get him again, right? Say he wants to work with Xbox. Like,
we've talked about this, Mav. I give him one more shot. I don't know if he's got anything left in the tank, but I give him one more shot just because of what he was.
I mean, I think the other thing he did with his team, like he's trying to build up a new team from scratch. So, you have financial pressures, you have like all this stuff, right? Like if you just put him as head of like a creative team that's really talented and has the financial backing again, like I feel like his creative genius would still come through. You know what I mean? There would be jiggle physics out the ass. That's for damn sure, right? But those games have kind of died when he left. Like Dead or Alive.
They still sell though too. People like to say that you can't do that in 23, but look at the attention Stellar Blade got when it came out. Just because of how they designed her. Okay, those games still you can moan and whine and cry about it.
Eastern developers can do it. Western, I think, are a little more like PC about it.
Right. But Eastern developers still get away with it. Phil's trying to make deals in the East. Bring some of the jiggle physics. Let's get back to it. Itagaki's out there. I would give him one more chance. I would roll it.
Was that the game when we were watching on a co-stream or something and Jasper was like, whoa,
yes.
Whoa,
no, that was
that
was Bright Memory Infinite.
Yeah, that was Bright.
Yeah. Jasper literally came on the stream. It was crazy. Bold Alpha Wolfpack with a $5 says, you know what would be crazy good? A new Bloody Roar. Take my money now.
Oh my God. Yeah. Bloody Roar was so freaking amazing. I can't believe they haven't brought that back. I can't believe that. Did you get his other one too about Darkstalkers?
Oh no, I didn't see that one. Sorry.
Yeah, $5 Bold Alpha Wolfpack bomb. I'd want a Darkstalkers comeback or a fully supported Marvel versus Capcom 2 reboot. Absolutely. Darkstalkers. I love Darkstalkers.
How about you have here's an idea. Capcom Ultimate collection, or not collection, but
done it.
No, not
I
like
was gonna say,
wait, you can go play Darkstalkers right now.
The wrong word. Like
okay.
Ultimate Fighting Championship game or
like
whatever.
A compilation of all the fighters.
All of them,
But like, the only system is the only decision is what system do you use, because they all fought differently.
The closest thing to that is when they do like Marvel versus Capcom, because you have
Correct,
like
and they have a mix.
Capcom characters in there, and which I'm saying basically that, but just blow it up to where it's like fucking so many of all.
Didn't they do that with that anime fighting game? They just got shut down a couple years ago. I forgot what it was called, but it had like Dragon Ball Z characters, Naruto, and like Death Note anime characters and shit.
Jump Force.
Yeah, Jump Force. It only lasted like 2 years and it got shut down, but it had like all the fucking biggest animes in it, which was weird.
Yeah, but that was
being a 3D fighter, I think, was the hard part about it. The Dragon Ball Fighters, or with a Z at the end, I think that was a better
Bandai Namco fighting games too, right? Like the licensed ones that they do, like they're good, right? But they're not like a Marvel versus Capcom good, or like a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, level, right? Alvin with the $5 says, if Ninja Gaiden, you could level up the wooden sword 7 times to create the unlabored flawlessness. Still my favorite game weapon of all time.
Oof.
Speaking
facts right there.
Yeah, still says the problem was the lack of quality in the game.
Yeah.
And Jump Force.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's another there's a couple games like that, but
AJH with the Clay Fighters. Let's go, Clay Fighters. Let's go.
Okay, so I had an idea to do like a top 5, and I want to start trying to do this occasionally. So I kind of want to do a top 5, and I was planning on doing like top 5 RPGs of all time, but we're already talking about fighting games, right? So I want to get our top 5 fighting games of all time. And I'm putting you on the spot, so you don't have any time. And I was inspired because me and Kate were talking about top 5 food places. Because that's where our conversations usually go. And I'm like, man, I want to do this with video games, like on the show, right? Like, because it's interesting, and I almost want to see if we could predict what each other's are.
No one's going to predict my number 1. I've said it before, but it's only if you remember it.
Your favorite fighting game of all time?
Yeah. because it's a shitty one.
Oh man. Okay. Are we all thinking?
Yeah.
All right. I'm curious for the chat too. I want to know what your guys' are too.
Okay.
You got your Psycho?
Yeah. So, I think this one is like my favorite. I've just had a lot of memories playing at the arcades. Well, at a coffee shop that has had this arcade cabinet, but it was Soul Calibur 2 was my all-time favorite.
Okay.
And then followed, I would say, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Then we can go into Power Stone, and then go into what was that?
Counting Power Stone, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's a fighting game, right? And
technically, it's an arena. It's okay. Okay.
You know,
I mean, I'm cool with it because that changes my list. I'm cool with it. We're counting it, obviously, but I just was thinking more classic style fighters. But go ahead. Sorry, I didn't just go.
What was that? Yeah, oh my god, it was on the freaking Sega Saturn.
Virtual Fighter.
No, it was like Battle.
You're not talking about the fighting Vipers?
No, they were like anime characters. Dude had like a long hair. He was a shinobi. It was like Battle
Battle Arena Toshinden.
Battle Arena Toshinden? Yeah.
Yeah.
PlayStation. That was PlayStation.
They had it also on Saturn.
Did they?
It was a launch title for PlayStation 1. I don't think so. I think that was
it was either a sequel, or it was like
maybe. Okay. All right, that's cool. Go.
And then I'll go with the last one is Virtual On.
Okay. Good one.
Oh, that's the mech one, right?
Yep. Mech
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that was great at the arcades, dude. Love that. Who else has theirs ready?
I'm trying to think of one more.
I'll read some from the chat. Bold Alpha Wolfpack said Tekken 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Bloody Roar, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, and Soul Calibur 3, and Street Fighter Alpha 2. Steel says Tekken Tag 2, Soul Calibur 4, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Dead or Alive 3, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. But some of these I've never played. Like, I never played the Budokai Tenkaichi game. Are those like, am I saying that right? Is that like one of those where you like, it's like kind of open in 3D and you like end up in the sky a lot?
I got mine.
Okay.
Go
for
so
it.
number one is in order, but everything after that is just kind of whatever order. Number one is Shaq Fu.
Oh my
god.
NES.
Right on.
Okay. And then it's Pokemon Stadium.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
Def Jam.
All right.
Oh, okay. Def Jam's a good one. Def Jam's a really
Celebrity
good one.
Deathmatch.
Okay.
And Fight Night.
And Fight Night. Y'all remember the fucking day when we're coming up with the celebrity deathmatch scenarios?
That was freaking amazing, bro.
It's hilarious, dude. So that was like, I guess, that's fitting because you don't really play traditional fighting games.
Yeah, I don't really care about the normal fighter stuff.
So you just play all the quirky ass ones and stuff. Okay. Yeah, I mean, some of those are pretty good. Def Jam was good.
Yeah.
Pokemon Stadium, is that the one that was on 64?
Yeah, it was on 64, and they may have like GameCube releases too, I think. But
there was one that I played that was more like a fighting game than from Pokemon, and I kind of
it's like you're in a 3D at Stadium, so I mean,
right. Okay,
I think it's still a bit turn based, but yeah.
Alvin says Killer Instinct 2013, Guilty Gear Strive, Soul Calibur, Dream DC. I'm guessing you mean Dreamcast. Soul Edge, which was the actual original Soul Calibur. and then probably Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Right on. You got yours, Pong?
Yeah, I tell you, these are always tough.
I know these are on the spot too. So,
but my history goes back. So, and I'm doing franchises because I can't pick out specific. But I played so many, and I'm not the fighting guy. I play against the computer most of the time. But the one where I did put in the most time, because we used to have competitions, and this is one that not a lot of people are going to remember. It was on Sega Genesis, but Eternal Champions. I put so much time into that because we used to have these tournaments at Funkoland. That was like the one fighter I got serious about because I wanted to beat my coworkers. And I had to get good at it. And Eternal Champions, so I got to put it in here. And then, this is difficult because you ask me this question again, I'm going to come up with a totally different list because I've played so many and I enjoy so many, but I enjoy them for different reasons. But Soul Calibur franchise, love them all. Yeah. I love Soul Calibur. Always. Tekken, same thing. I love Tekkens. Tekkens are freaking fantastic. Power Stone, because Psycho brought it up. Gotta say it because Power Stone is one of my favorite all-time games too. Put so many hours in that game. And then right now on the spot, Guilty Gear, because I love the Guilty Gear animation. I love the stories of the characters. They have these whole movies you can actually watch. Just love the Guilty Gear series for what they bring. I love the characters. But again, you ask me again, I'm gonna have Darkstalkers in there. I'm gonna have Bloody Roar in there.
Star Wars Masters of Terakashi.
Yeah, I'm gonna find some random weird stuff in there all the time. Battle Arena Toshidin is absolutely a classic for me because it was one of the reasons why I picked up the PlayStation 1. I played it at a demo kiosk before it came out when they were promoting PlayStation, the first one, and it blew me away. And I played so much Battle Arena. But that's my 5 right now.
Okay. Good list. Do you have yours, Fuzz?
Yeah, mine's kind of along the same lines as Pong. Not the exact same games, but it kind of would probably change depending on when you ask me. So I got to start off with the ones that I probably played the most. Some of these are going to be series, some are going to be individual ones, and I'll go through it. But right now, I'm kind of stuck at 6, and I'll start with one of my first favorites, Karate Champ in the arcade.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
beautiful.
Dude.
So many quarters, man. So many quarters.
That's a great one, man.
Just the fact that you could get disqualified for punching the guy in the nuts, that I'll always remember that one. Or just doing the spin kick to the head, always getting knockouts and stuff like that. It was like the go-to game for me when I was a little guy playing at the arcades back in early 80s and whatnot. So that's always going to have a special place. Virtual Fighter, primarily on the Saturn. And I forget his name. It's basically because of the drunk guy. I always love using that character because for whatever reason, I was the only person that I guess I knew all of the moves by muscle memory. And I would always use that guy to win. And it was I was basically the guy that would just constantly take drinks and do the drop kick and fall down and act like I'm knocked out. Yeah. Yeah, that was one of my favorite games of all time, and I think it was either Virtual Fighter, the first one, or Virtual
Fighter 2.
Yeah, that was my game growing up. Another one on this list is going to be Street Fighter as a whole, but particularly Super Street Fighter 4, and I think they had a Turbo Alpha version or whatever, and it's primarily because I think that's the one outside of a Capcom versus Marvel or whatever that had the most Street Fighter lineup or the largest Street Fighter lineup. And is it Jin Lee or it's the weird chick that does a lot of kicks with the one purple eye or eye patch or whatever. That was my favorite fighter for that. But that game as a whole, pretty much the whole lineup, I think was the peak for Street Fighter as far as a whole.
Right.
Let's see. Did Karate Champ, Virtual Fighter, Street Fighter, and then these last 3. And I know I'm already at 3, but it's I got to put Bushido Blade in there as well, just for the fact that
nice.
when I was first dating my wife, and that was she was my main go-to partner as far as playing against her on my PS1, I guess it was. She would always chopping me at my knees and stuff, and I would sometimes win, but it was just so much fun that they had that mechanic where you could chop somebody's arm and then they have to fight with just one arm with their sword and stuff like that. So Bushido Blade is always going to be one of those games I just adored growing up, or when I was like a late teen, early
growing
20.
up. I met my wife growing up.
Yeah. Well, we're talking like almost 30 years ago now. But yeah, Bushido Blade's definitely up there. And then the toss up is between the last two is going to be Fight Night, but it's round 3 on the PS3 because they had the first person mode. That I think is what nudges it up a little bit more, just because of the first person mode. And I played so much of that, both online as well as, just against the AI and stuff like that. And then Dragon Ball Fighters was like the next one, because it looks like the cartoon, like better than I've seen a lot of the other Dragon Ball games, and it's fun to play. And you could be a button masher, or you can know what the actual inputs are, and you can still have a good time playing that. And me and my sons, fought each other on that for months and stuff like that, until they started getting better at the button inputs and things like that. So, but I still kick their butts in Street Fighter, so I guess it balances it out. But those are my top. I think I said 6, but I would tie Fight Night and Dragon Ball Fighters up there for like the final position for 5.
Right on. That's a good list, bro. Love it. There's so many good fighting games, dude.
Did you do yours, Matt?
Not yet. I still got to get Psychos too.
What are you talking about? You already did.
Oh, did I?
That was the first one.
Psycho let off.
Right. Yeah, that's right. My bad. It's been so long. All right. So
that old age, bro.
It's fuck me, dude. I know. Like I've always had a bad memory. So here's my list. Okay. Tekken 2. Here's the thing. Back in the day, I used to play a lot of fighting games with my buddies, like around that time, and I wasn't the best out of the bunch. I'll just say that. I wasn't like bad, but I got my ass kicked a lot because a lot of them were really fucking good. And it was really felt good when I would win and win like more than one match in a row. So like certain games, I have those like long memories of like what's just like all hanging out in the fucking bedroom, just playing these fucking fighting games. And that's where like most of my like love comes from, is for Tekken 2. Yeah, I don't remember if it was the best Tekken, but that was the one I remember doing that the most. You know what I mean? Like, and it was a blast. So another one, and I don't know if this 100% qualifies. I think it does. WCW versus NWO World Tour.
Okay. Got all about wrestling games. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did too. The one on the 64 was fucking amazing.
Pro wrestling on NES. Let's go.
There was 3 on the 64. This is one of them. So there was Revenge, Nitro, and World Tour. And World Tour was my favorite.
Did they all come in black cartridges? Because I have one in a black cartridge. I remember. I think.
I don't remember. It's so different saying you played with your boys in the bedroom. Yeah, we played video games in the bedroom. Like that's where the game.
There was no online back then.
Like my mom or whatever's in the living room watching like some soap opera or some shit. Like we're gonna be hanging out in the bedroom, like all sitting our asses on the bed, like playing the fucking game, and we'd like move just past the controller. Winner stays. That's just how we played, man. There's usually like 5 or 6 of us just fucking sitting in the bedroom. Like always. That's just how like my teenage life was. Just me and the boys in the bedroom playing fucking video games. It's funny, but it's true. So then we got Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Same situation was Tekken 2. Like that was one of those games, right? Just the amount of shit talking and just anger, like almost ended friendships over some of these games, man. That was like one of them. Dead or Alive 4 launch 360 game, I think, or around launch, close to launch on the 360.
You mean you didn't play Rumble Roses?
That was a good one too. Dead or Alive 4
backwards compatible.
But Dead or Alive 4 kind of changed the game with online fighting games. Because you could have like the spectator mode. They had the screen there. You could like watch people fighting, and like you would like walk around the little lobby and like set up matches and stuff. Like it was with your little character. It was really cool. And then I already said that one. Fuck. Soul Calibur 4. Can you all tell me which one is the? Because I'm getting in my head mixed up for sure. One of these, it was either Soul Calibur 3 or 4. At the arcade, had the ability to, you had this card that you would bring with you and you would put in it, and then it would like learn the way you play and stuff and like upload your data and stuff, and then when you came back you'd put it in the machine again, and it would like you would all find out like your character, your trained character that you kind of like trained or whatever, the battles that they had and stuff, right? So it was like this progressing, like,
did it look like a little Nintendo Switch like memory chip thing?
I don't remember what it looked like.
Oh.
No, wasn't it paper?
I thought it was like this little
The
car. It was a little
it was like a parking. It was like a parking when you go to a parking ramp.
Maybe it was like plastic though.
It was plastic. Okay.
Because it can't be paper. You can't put a paper in the machine when you come back. Like I don't.
Yeah, it was thicker than that. They did have arcade games with that though. I know for a fact.
Yeah, Soul Calibur.
But yeah,
I can't remember if that was 3 or 4. Right, whichever one that was my favorite. Now I know 4. I made the most like online characters and stuff, and like I had a fucking hell of a time with the character creation and that. But that one at the arcade, if it was 3 or 4, I can't remember, was fucking sick. And I absolutely loved that. So I played the shit out of that game. So I can't tell you if it was 3 or 4, but if it wasn't 3 or whatever, either one of those interchangeable. Soul Calibur 3 and 4 were like right up there together for me. Maybe 4 because you don't remember it in 3, but you didn't play. Yeah, it was at the arcades, right? You know how they have those games where it's like you become like 5th Dan or like 6th Dan or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that you keep raising the ranks, and I don't really know what that stuff means, but you would get to play against the data of the trained characters from other people that played on the machine. That's who you battled against if nobody was there to fight you, right? So it was super sick. Loved it. Anyway, besides that was it. I think I did all 5, right? World Tour, Dead or Alive, Tekken 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and Soul Calibur. So
no one said Smash Bros.
Fuck Smash Bros, man. Yeah, it's a challenger rank. Yeah, that's right. I wish I remember which one it was, but all right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for the show, everybody. We had fun kicking around these fighting games.
Real quick, Mav, did you see the news I put in there for everybody? Just quick news break I put in there earlier about Wonder Woman, because a lot of people were worried about WB's comment about going for games as a service, and people were wondering about Wonder Woman. They confirmed today to IGN that Wonder Woman is not going to be a live service game. And they also, even more importantly, confirmed that the Nemesis system is being used in Wonder Woman. So still looking forward to Wonder Woman. Can't wait to see more on that one. I'm excited for that one.
Anybody have any real quick comments about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? Because they had a like 15-minute or so video that they put out kind of showing the game again.
It looks about the same, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
I'm still hyped for it. I was the one that was still as a non.
No, I know.
You know,
you're
superhero. Yeah, it's got Harley in it, and I still like the look of it, and I still like how I love the movement. It looks great, and it's got loot, so I'm in. A looter shooter, I'm cool with it since I don't care that much about superheroes. So we're good. Let's go.
Yeah.
I remember the name that was the game that I was talking about was Battle Arena Toshiden Remix.
That's
that
what
came out on this.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, but that's the full name.
Oh, remix. Okay. Right on.
Yeah.
So it was like a
New characters, new fighting moves.
Right on. I never knew that came out on the Saturn.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't remember it coming out on the Saturn at all.
Yeah, it came out February 1st, 1996.
So for me, the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was like, it didn't change my feeling on the game at all. It was just more like what I had seen previously. So I was like, okay, cool. I like the story elements that they showed. It looks like it might have some cool story stuff. I think the game is going to be a blast. I think it's going to be really well made. I think it's going to be a great game to play. I still wish personally that I got a different game from Rocksteady. But that's just because it's been so long since we got a Arkham Rocksteady game that they're the only ones that really crafted that kind of game to perfection, in my opinion. Like if it was like another game in another like genre or whatever, or even if it was Suicide Squad, like I get that they're fitting it to the mold of whatever the represents the characters best, but like I kind of like had all these visions of like, okay, it would be amazing if like they made a dark gritty Ninja Turtles or like a dark gritty this or dark gritty that, and whatever Rocksteady's next game, I wanted that tone.
That's where I think my biggest problem is with it. It's not necessarily the gameplay. It's just I don't give a fuck about the Suicide Squad. It's like the gameplay looks fine or whatever. It's just like it's Suicide Squad. That's
I'm just missing the Rocksteady tone, and they talked about it in this. Like they're obviously the tone's going to change for what the characters are, but like that was like the tone that they had with those Arkham games was like, yeah, it made sense because it was Batman. But man, they crafted that like so fucking well that nobody can touch it. Like WB Montreal tries to, right? But they don't come. They still don't come close to capturing what Rocksteady does in the same using the same tools and all that kind of stuff, right? It's like just something special with that. And like for me, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League looks more like other kinds of games, right? That I'm used to seeing other kinds of creators kind of make. So it doesn't feel as special, right? So that's my only issue with it. I'm sure it's gonna be fun. I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy it, but I feel like there's still that hole missing for me from that waiting 8 years for the next Rocksteady game. I feel like I'm still waiting for the next Rocksteady game, right? I still feel that way after what I saw.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I maybe it's old age or something, but wasn't there a time where they traded studios working on these titles?
Yes.
Like, wasn't Rocksteady working on Gotham Knights originally? And
they were working on an Arkham game. It wasn't necessarily Gotham Knights.
Okay.
And WB Montreal was working on a Suicide Squad game.
And then they switched or flipped or whatever. And okay. They never said why they did that, or
no. That was what's kind of come out due to rumors. Apparently, they haven't said that, but it's been kind of well known now that that's kind of what happened. I have a feeling it has to do something with some kind of the games of service-y type elements and the live service elements of these games, right? Rocksteady on the video is like, this is the kind of game we wanted to make and stuff, but like. I honestly, like, what their history is and the kind of developer they were, like, you can't tell me they're like, we really want to make this co-op multiplayer experience type game. Like, I have a feeling that was kind of influenced onto them, right? Now knowing also what we know about WB Discovery and the WB team leadership was already kind of making those decisions has kind of come along as well, right, for this. So it seems to me that that's why these co-op things were kind of forced into these games, right? I'm not saying that's necessarily going to make them bad or whatever.
I mean, I'll be kind of honest. I'm kind of glad they're not doing Batman because the last good one was Arkham City. So, like,
yeah. I liked Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Arkham Knight was fucking awesome, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was good.
Was that the one with the Batmobile? Like,
no, that was Arkham. Well, that was Arkham Knight, I think.
Yeah.
There's Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight was with the Knight, whoever what was he, Red Hood?
Yeah,
or Damien or some shit.
Jason Todd. Yeah,
it was one of the fucking Robins.
Yep. So anyway, I'm kind of I'm still excited for the game, right? I'm not trying to shit on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think people can misplace my feedback for shitting on it and all that stuff. I'm sure it's gonna be great. I just feel like I'm still missing what I had wanted, but it is what it is. I think that's the issue that some people have out there when they see this. It's because we were all waiting for Rocksteady's thing, and then we saw Rocksteady's thing. It wasn't a Rocksteady thing. It was a games of servicey, like, looks like Sunset Overdrive's, like, / Crackdown superhero game, but it is what it is. It's still gonna be great because it's made by Rocksteady. Regardless of what they make, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
So
I do want to say one thing about this before we leave, about this whole PlayStation Portal or portable, whatever the fuck you want to say. Okay. I know. Yeah. So the whole thing with how it's being sold out and everything and all that. Well, the reason it's being sold out, because this is what we were told, is that because they were pre-ordered, and that's the only copy units were sent out. You can't find this and buy it at Walmart or Target or anywhere, because guess what? No one got any extras. It was only for the pre-orders. That's why it was freaking sold out. Just saying.
Right on, man. Thanks for that information.
Yeah, because there's idiots out there. They're saying, "Oh, that's sold out because it's so popular." No, it's sold out because people have been waiting on it, and all the scalpers.
There's also a shit ton of them on eBay right now and stuff like that.
Yeah, because all the scalpers that pre-ordered it fucking went and put it on eBay because they knew that this is the only way they can make their money back from all the PS5s that they scalped that are still sitting in the warehouse.
And Psycho's like, before we leave, can I just shit on PlayStation for a minute?
Can I be an Xbox? Can I be an Xbox before we get out of here, please?
I've been waiting to say this all show, and I didn't get the fucking opportunity, but I had to set the record fucking straight that PlayStation was not successful with the PlayStation Portal.
Exactly.
And all the idiots just disappeared off X, Psycho. Way to go. Way to go. I just saw them all.
Have success. This thing did not sell out. I know for a fact because it's only the
no. It's sold out because it was pre-ordered. That's the sellout.
Yeah,
I had one. I had one. That is it. That's all they sent me.
Did you buy it? Then, was it yours?
No.
He told him to go watch PM in the PM.
No, because I told him, listen. I was like,
I only sold one at my entire GameStop. There's only one person in my old town even interested in that piece of shit.
No, there was a lot of interest.
There's the city came.
I had 60 people probably call me about this damn thing, but
really, that's a lot. Actually,
there's a lot of people looking for it because they had the assumption that this is a PSP or a PS.
So what'd you do? Answer the phone. You don't want this piece of shit.
No.
Let me educate you. This thing doesn't do.
No, but
you need a PlayStation 5, you stupid fucker.
No, I let them know. I educate them. You know that this needs a PS5 to even work, and it does not play games natively, and you need Wi-Fi connection. And they're like, "Oh, didn't know that." A lot of people don't know that. They think it's this fucking handheld is an actual like a Steam Deck or a Switch, which is not the case. And then people are gonna open up for Christmas and be like, "Where do I put
have a disk drive? It doesn't have a disk drive.
Why can I download my game? What's going on?"
Did you tell them you're an Xbox ambassador as well?
No, I don't say that.
Did you tell them about the IGN review where he got 8 out of 10?
It scored better than Steam Deck. That should tell you a lot.
And it doesn't have a browser.
Did you tell him it's the must need PS5 device accessory?
Yes, it is the must need accessory. If you're a Sony, a closeted Sony fanboy, you need this.
A closeted?
Closeted. Closeted.
Okay.
Just make sure you tell me you can't watch Pornhub on it, and that'll probably end the call right there, Psycho.
But can I stream it from a PlayStation 5?
No.
No.
You can't use it at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Can't use it anywhere that uses the fucking access portal that you have to access.
No, you could use it at Dunkin' Donuts. You just need your cell phone as a hotspot, which you could just download the PlayStation Remote Play app on your cell phone and just use that
for free.
But I don't get DualSense with that.
They should already have a DualSense because they have the PS5, so they just take that with them.
But the haptics.
You have the controller.
But I have $200 extra that I want to spend.
What if I have an iPad and a controller? Can I? Is it the same as the PlayStation Portal? If I have an iPad and a controller,
if you cut the controller in half and you attach it to the iPad, then yes.
Scorpio knows.
Well, okay, let me go cut my DualSense controller in half and glue it to the side. Well, it's.
Oh man!
Oh Jesus! All right, can we get out of here before midnight? I go to bed.
Are we allowed to leave now, Psycho? Do you have any other shit talking you want to lay out there first?
Yeah.
And you need a fucking $200 headset to play, even fucking if you want to have it have any earbuds or anything. So
it does have a speaker on it though.
Yeah, it's
or you can plug in like your old was it like the Breathmint headset that came with your PS4? So yeah.
The Breathmint headset. Yeah.
We had one Bedwulf. One lonely fucking handheld.
How much did you try and talk the guy out of it when he came to pick it up?
Oh no, I didn't talk him out of it. I'll sell the shit out of it. I don't give a fuck. But it's just I don't like to see people thinking it's one thing, so I educate them and so now hopefully they know that they can.
What does your
download
education
the same
class look like? Can you just like educate me real quick? Like, hey, I'm a customer. I want to buy the PlayStation Portable or whatever. What is it?
Download the app. It's for free. I saved you $200. I'll sell you a controller. So I saved you $130.
Do you want a Kishi for way less? Is that what you say? Pretty much.
Yeah, I got a backbone for $100 and an app for free. I think the app is with the backbone, so there you go. You just buy that thing.
Right on.
And I'll sell you a fucking headset, $100 Sony headset, and you'll save hundreds of dollars to do whatever you could do on your phone. So,
yeah, but if I'm saving money, how's it premium?
Jasper, stop.
All right. Psycho, tell everybody where they can find you, talking people how to buy on PlayStation Portals.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Chat, you guys were amazing. It was fantastic. Love the little fun pop segment we had tonight. But you can find me everywhere on social media, Psychonauts 8. And you can find me Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays on the Fun Speculation Network on some great shows. And then don't forget Thursdays. You got to check out PM and the PM with Pong and Mav, the best podcast on your Thursday night.
Thanks.
Free advertising. I like it.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, we do have a $5 super chat from Bold Alpha Wolfpack. I got to make sure I get to that. It says, Rocksteady needs to stop dragging ass and do Terry Batman Beyond proper. Yeah. Yeah. Batman Beyond would be great. Let's go. Thanks again, Psycho. Appreciate you, bro. Fuzzy Belvedere. Can everybody find you, sir?
Oh, thanks for having me on. Greatly appreciate being here with you guys. Always a blast. Thanks to everybody in the chat for joining us. For my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, just follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also find me, Pong, and PTK Blam. And I think we have two guests this weekend.
Captain Logan and Infinite Umbra, the ego, is coming through. Let's go.
Yeah. Catch us Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on PTK Blam's channel, and then right back here Monday evening, 10 p.m. for FSP. Look forward to seeing you guys there. Thanks again.
Thanks, Fuzzy. Jasper, what about you, sir?
Yo, check it out. Lord Jasper, Twitter, Lord Master Jasper, YouTube, all that fun stuff. Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, 10 o'clock, right here on the Fun Speculation Network with FSP, Fun Pop, and Xbox Ultimate. That's where I'm at. That's what I do. Check it out. I don't know.
Jasper, you got to stream Shaq Fu, by the way.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
That would.
I still have my. Wait, no, that's on the NES. I think my NES doesn't work anymore. My 64 does. I would have
you
to
gotta
get
be able
NES.
to emulate it. You gotta be able to emulate it by now, dude. Do it. It'd be so great.
This is my favorite game of all time. It's called Shaq Fu.
I still have the cartridge.
Oh my God.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you have it in like a plaque on your wall?
No, it's
Okay.
like in
All
another room somewhere.
Is it autographed by Shaq? Did you ever get it autographed by Shaq? You should do that.
You should. That
would be cool. Pong Soul.
Yes, sir.
Where everybody find you, sir?
Absolutely. What a great night, everybody. Great conversations. Again, it actually got me more excited, Mav, about what's coming down the line. Like we talk about it, but when we started going through it and the potential of what they're going to, man.
Yeah.
What a great time to be a gamer, everybody. Listen, it was a great conversation. Chat, you guys were absolutely incredible. Again, adding to the show. You guys are a part of the show, as I always say, as much as we are. So thank you all for joining us tonight. It was a great time, great way to end the Friday night. Got some of my stress from work out tonight, so that was great. Otherwise, tomorrow morning, Living Split Screen is back. That's right. We took off last week so Steel could go touch grass and touch asphalt, do some motorcycling, but we are back tomorrow morning. So set those alarms right now. Be ready because we've got a lot to get into tomorrow. You know, the conversations are going to be live, raw, and uncut. 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, Living Split Screen. Split Screen is all one word. Get ready, buckle up, 3+ hours tomorrow morning. I'm sure we're probably going to hit 4 for obvious reasons because we haven't talked. Me and Steel haven't talked at all in the past couple of weeks outside of a few DMs here and there. So, and a little bit of Xbox Live. But then tomorrow night, like Fuzzy said, the Shop Podcast, the best way to end your Saturday night, now an hour earlier, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central Time. Thanks. Time change. Love you. But we will be there again with Captain Logan, who is a huge Sea of Thieves fan, but just an awesome, really knowledgeable gamer. And of course, Mr. Ego himself, in Infinite Umbra, will be there. So I won't talk a whole lot because Umbra will take up all the time. Be there on the Shop Podcast tomorrow night. And then, of course, next week it starts all over again. Tuesdays, Double Barrel Gaming is the channel. Mr. Boomstick is the man. Xbox Factor Podcast is the show. 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Always has a great panel. Please, if you have not checked out Boom, pick your day of the week and be there 5 days a week. Go check out one of his shows, but Xbox Factor on Tuesdays is great. And then back here Thursday night for another, oh no, we won't be because Thanksgiving. Guess what? You don't have PM into PM next week. So go watch our show last night, 4 hours. We had great conversations last night, me and Mav. So next week, you got a week off. Thanksgiving in the US. Otherwise, you know the drill. It's the golden age of gaming, people. It really, really is. So get out there, enjoy the rest of your weekend, play what you love what you play, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Now,
thanks, Paul.
Brother. Absolutely.
Everybody, you rock. Thank you all. If you'd like the content here, hit the like button, share it out, sub to the channel, notification bell, all that cool stuff. And audio listeners, appreciate you as well. Been a lot of new people been listening on audio, so appreciate each and every one of you guys as well. And chat, amazing, just fucking awesome guys. Like always hanging out, great energy in the chat, and you make this all 100% worth it. And I love you guys in the panel. You guys rock. You're my family. We'll be back next week, more shows, and like Punk said, break on Thursday for Thanksgiving. But the rest of the week, next week, should be kind of regularly scheduled. And yeah, hope you have a good one. Take it easy, everybody, and have a good night. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.